Guys, I think we're done because there's nowhere else to go. The LA Rams have won Super Bowl 56. Oh my God. Cooper Kupp is your Super Bowl MVP. Aaron Rodgers can have that rinky-dink regular season MVPs. You know, Cooper Kupp got the real one. Man, what a game. Hope everyone enjoyed that because that's one of the best Super Bowls you'll ever see. What a game. Man. I just this feels so good. You guys know how much obviously this means a lot to a lot of you, but you know how some things haven't been the greatest over, with my family and just, what we went through and obviously, the passing of my grandpa. And I'm not going to say this, this fixes everything, but it is it's definitely special, and like I said, I really needed this. This is a great pick-me-up, and it's just so special, and the fact we were all able to share it together. You guys followed me no matter when I went live, whether it was, the crack of dawn, you guys were there. Man, I really appreciate everybody's support. It's been unbelievable, and, just really hats off to you. Yes, you probably saw the video that I had already played when the Rams won the Super Bowl. I had it set to play. It was basically kind of clowning everybody who, were trashing the Rams the whole year. I mean, hey, it happens, but what a game. I mean, we can sit here, we could predict, and we could say this is going to happen, and we get paid the big bucks, and yada, 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 but when the game happens, you don't know what's going to happen. The Super Bowl is one of those things where, anything can truly happen. All it takes is you to play well. You could be the worst team in the league, but if you were in a Super Bowl, you'd have a chance to win. It just takes that one game. But man, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the Bengals. But the Rams really had to earn this thing. And we're going to go through it. We're going to break it down. I have more of a voice this time, which is great, as opposed to the other times. But we are going to have to break this thing down. But let's start with it. Matthew Stafford. Man, all the hate, all the naysayers out there that said they gave up way too much. Oh, this guy, he's a veteran. He's way older than Jared Goff. He can't win in the playoffs. He's never won a playoff game. It wasn't Detroit. It was Matthew Stafford. To me, I just feel like everything just comes together so well because it's exactly what we all wanted, at least most of you that are here. I'm sure some of are Bengals fans, and I appreciate you being here. But for the most part, it's what we all wanted because Stafford got a chance. Yes, he threw some interceptions. He had a chance to rectify that at the end of the game, throwing the go-ahead touchdown, the game-winning touchdown, game-sealing touchdown to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp gets his second touchdown, which seals the deal for his Super Bowl MVP, and he needed to be at his best. We're going to go through this, so I'm going to go down the line, but Matthew Stafford, 26 of 40. He goes for 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, one of which really wasn't his fault. Ben Skoranek has to catch it. He averaged 7.1 yards per average. Had 2 sacks, so he sacked twice. Had an 89.9 passer rating. Then you look, they had the Cooper Kupp throw that didn't work out. The Philly special they tried to run, loved it, by the way. Then the Rams had no run game to speak of. The Bengals sold out to stop the run. They did an incredible job. The interior offensive line did not play their best game. You look at it, Cam Akers ran the ball 13 times for 21 yards. Cooper Kupp was the second leading rusher, tied with Darrell Henderson, 1 carry for 7. Henderson had 4 carries for 7. Matthew Stafford had 3 carries for 6, and Sony Michel had 2 carries for 2. All together, that amounted to running the ball more than the Bengals, and they ran it for 23 times, 43 yards, 1.9 yards per carry. Hats off to the Bengals. They stopped the run. So then you look, excuse me. And then you look at the receivers. You have Cooper Kupp, 8 catches, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns on 10 targets. He comes through huge for them, getting them, in the end zone. Big time there for him. And then you have Odell Beckham Jr. Man, I hope he's okay. I am rocking the Odell jersey. Really big shout out to him. Bought into this culture. He's out there. He's celebrating, but let's call it like it is. The game is completely different without him, and it's a testament to the hard work that he put in to learn this offense, to become the true number 2, to come through when needed. I really feel for him, but he deserves a ton of credit. 2 catches, 52 yards on 3 targets, including a 35-yard one. He caught the touchdown. How about Brycen Hopkins? The Rams had all these injuries. They didn't have Robert Woods coming in this game. They haven't had him in quite some time. They lose OBJ. They don't have Tyler Higbee coming into this. We find out Kendall Blanton hurt himself early on in the game. So now all of a sudden, you have this guy, Brycen Hopkins, who, you guys know I love Brycen Hopkins. I talked to him at the Senior Bowl. He was huge in this game. And here is Brycen Hopkins' career. He has 1 catch on 1 target for 9 yards. He caught that catch in his career. It's the only catch he's had in his entire career. Brycen Hopkins caught that on December 21st against the Seattle Seahawks. And now here he is, thrusted into the next man up role. We talked about Blanton last week. We've talked about Nick Scott. We talked about Traven Howard. These guys step up when needed, and all of a sudden, you look at Brycen Hopkins, 4 catches, 47 yards, when he needed to be the best he possibly could, when his best was required, he came through. So big props to him. Obviously, I'm sure this guy was very upset. He was at multiple points in the season. He was a healthy scratch. He wasn't getting the opportunities. He only has 1 pass thrown his way in his entire career. He was drafted in 2020, a 4th rounder. This is somebody to watch out. This is somebody we're going to keep monitoring. This was huge. So I'm really impressed with that. Darrell Henderson, you come back from that injury, okay? Sprained ankle, high ankle sprain, that's not easy to come back from. He comes back, and he gets 3 catches for 43 yards. Once again, the best when his best was required. Again, Van Jefferson catches 4 catches for 23 yards. He was not the best in this game, but he made some plays. You had Cam Akers, 3 catches for 14. Skoranek had a rough game. But at the end of the day, the Rams won. So we're not going to penalize. We're not going to just punish Skoranek. And on the defensive side, Darius Williams ended up not really having that bad of a game. Actually, he didn't have a bad game at all. Ernest Jones had 2 tackles for a loss. He had a sack. He had a pass breakup, 3 hits on the quarterback, 7 tackles. What a game for the rookie's 3rd-round pick. You have to love what the Rams have moving forward. And Taylor Rapp coming away with 7 tackles after not being able to play the last 3 weeks because of a concussion. A'Shawn Robinson, once again, playing his best football when his best was required. He was a menace in the trenches. He was a big reason why they weren't able to get those first downs on the 4th down. Converting those 4th downs, huge for A'Shawn. 6 tackles, 5 of them being solo. A quarterback hit, a sack, a tackle for a loss. How about Leonard Floyd? Tackle for a loss. He had a sack. He had a quarterback hit, 5 tackles. You had Eric Weddle, 5 tackles. He clearly wasn't healthy. Throughout the game, he got hurt early on. Aaron Donald, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss. He was all over the place. 3 quarterback hits, 4 tackles. He was so good in this game. Jalen struggled at times. Jalen, came through at other times. There were others. Von Miller coming away with 2 sacks in this one, 3 hits on the quarterback, a pass breakup. This is a team effort. It took all 53. This is what it's about. And then, of course, you get some contribution out of Brandon Powell. We do know what special teams can do. We saw playoff game 2017 against the Falcons. I don't take it for granted. He held on to the football. No fumbles there. Matt Gay made the only field goal he was in charge of making. Hit 2 extra points. Johnny Hecker, I thought, 3 punts inside the 20. He had 1 touchback. I thought he played well. It's a collective effort, man. The Rams really had to do it all. They had to come through. They were broken, beaten, scarred in this one, and they came through and they won it 23-20, having a comeback. And, of course, once again, Matthew Stafford, ice cold in the fourth quarter. He is incredible, man. He really is. This is why, guys. I'm going to read those super chats. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go through some, comments, all that, and then we'll just have some fun and hang out. But this, guys, is why this is what I envisioned. When the Rams made the trade for Matthew Stafford, this is what it was about. It wasn't a hate necessarily against Jared Goff. Some guys simply can't do it in the big moment. Goff folded, Stafford did not. Despite the fact that Stafford had 2 interceptions, one not being his fault, he continued to rally back. We saw that touchdown that was there. Goff threw an interception to Stephon Gilmore in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. You look at Stafford, when his best was required, his best came through. Stafford was ice cold in the fourth quarter, as in his veins. Like, this guy, he is just unbelievable. Best passer rating in the second half of any quarterback in the league, like I've previously said over and over again. In the fourth quarter, he has not thrown an interception this year. He'll finish this season without throwing interception in the fourth quarter. An incredible, incredible, incredible job by the Rams, by Sean McVay, by Kevin O'Connell, by Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coordinator, Raheem Morris, his defense playing as best as possible down the stretch. And then, of course, you look at the front office, all those guys there, Tony Pastors, trying to make this work with the contracts. You have Les Snead, all of these guys, Demoff, Kroenke for actually being willing to open up the pocketbook and actually spend the money on these guys. None of this is possible without everybody. It is a collective effort when you go to the Super Bowl. It's a collective effort when you build a team. The Rams didn't build it the traditional way because they created their own way of doing it. It's a copycat league, so I won't be surprised for a second if teams start trying to copy this. But make no mistake, when you look at this game, Bryson Hopkins, a fourth-round pick that had 1 career catch, caught 4 in this game. That's the thing. That right there is what I'm talking about. It's not just a super team. It's not just stars. The best players stepped up when the best needed to, but the other guys also have to play football because it doesn't work if only your stars do. So they did an incredible job. The coaching staff, they got these guys prepared. I never at any point felt like the Rams weren't ready for the moment. They were ready, and I think Sean McVay's loss was a blessing against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. He learned a lesson. He was able to come in here way more prepared. There were times where, I disagree with the play calling, but he stayed even keel, and he made the right call, deciding, you know what? They want to take Cooper Kupp out of the game. Fine, we're going to go with OBJ. When OBJ got hurt, they continued to try to make the run game working when it wasn't. They tried to rely on guys like Ben Skoranek, who were not ready for the moment. And then when they finally realized, we don't have another choice, it's Bryson Hopkins, it's Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson struggling a little bit, we got to make something happen. They decided, you know what, don't care, double team Cooper Kupp all you want. We're going to try and get him open. If not, we're just going to throw to him anyway. And hats off to the officiating, man. You can say what you will, and I definitely was upset about the missed call on the face mask, the egregious face mask, basically cheating on Higgins' part. But I'm not going to go there because here's the thing. On that final drive, the officials could have turned a blind eye. There was a lot of holding, and they let it go on the call with Henderson, and then they came back and they tried to hold Kupp, and they were not going to let him get away with it. I loved the officiating in this game. Credit to Ronald Torbert. He was absolutely amazing in this one. I thought the officials were great, aside from that one call. I just feel like this is the Super Bowl that we all deserved after last week, or last year. That Super Bowl was garbage. Tom Brady, hats off to him, won his 7th. He won it with Tampa. It was great, right? Great for him. But that call, or that Super Bowl was not close. It was 31-9. people that watch the Super Bowl around the globe, they deserve this game. And for Rams fans, you guys deserve this win. Because I can tell you right now, I've watched the same old sorry-ass Rams. I've watched guys like Keith Null play quarterback for this team. I remember when Scott Covington was the starter for a game in which they were decimated with injuries at the quarterback position, so much so Marshall Faulk was the backup quarterback in an emergency setting. There is so many things that I can say, and the first thing I thought of after celebrating with my family and my friends, and shout out to my best friend Tyler Peak, he was there too. He's been on the show before. Loved having him over, and my uncle as well. I thought immediately back to 2011 in that game where you had Bradford, the Rams, Jackson, you had, Denari Alexander, Danny Amendola, Brandon Gibson. They go to Seattle. They are one win away from making the playoffs. That's where we were. We were in that same room, and we're in the same room watching that game, and I'm sitting there like, wow. Like, we were going all out just to go 8-8. We were so invested in that game, and here they are. They win the Super Bowl. It just kind of goes to show you, I really do feel like this fan base has been through a lot, and I understand Cincinnati, it sucks. They've lost 3 Super Bowls now. It is painful, but let's just remind Cincinnati that anything is certainly possible when you start to be able to form a roster. This did not take overnight. This was not overnight success. The Rams had the balls to go out and get a young coach, and not just a young coach, and a coach that I loved immediately. I wanted him over Fisher. I wanted him in the middle of the season. But not just a coach that I loved, the youngest coach in NFL history, who actually I believe is the youngest coach to ever win a Super Bowl now. I think Tomlin was 36. Could be wrong on that. I'll have to check. But to have the balls to do that is a ballsy hire. To go from Jeff Fisher, who is establishment, who's even keel, and then to go out and get Sean McVay, who is essentially unprecedented, that was them. To keep Les Snead, that was them. Les Snead could have gotten clumped in with Fisher, could have been fired, that would have been that. To go out and get Andrew Whitworth, big shout out to him, man. He goes out on top. If he retires, this is the way to retire. He's absolutely on top. To go out and get Robert Woods. Was Robert Woods on the field tonight? No. But did Robert Woods have a hand in pushing this team to this level? Yes, 100%. They got him from Buffalo. Wasn't used anywhere near how much he should have been. He goes to the Rams, immediately takes off. They draft Cooper Kupp, this kid out of Eastern Washington, in the 3rd round. He ends up freaking winning Super Bowl MVP years later. This team, man, they did everything. They did everything. They have the most draft picks in the league at 34 on the roster. They've done an incredible job. I'm very excited. Like I said, the last video I came out with, or the live stream yesterday, I told you guys, I'm not trying to jump the gun. But if the Rams win this Super Bowl, and now they've won it, the Rams can be the next great dynasty. Because it is built from the top. It's not built overnight. That's why the Bengals can get back, but it's going to take time. Losing in the Super Bowl, you're not guaranteed to make the Super Bowl again, and you're definitely not guaranteed to make the playoffs again the following season. We saw with the Rams. They worked for this. They earned it. And so we will see. But you talk about the ingredients to a dynasty. It's winning, winning, winning. It's having, a culture which the Rams have. I think a lot of these guys are going to want to come back. I think OBJ is 100% going to be back. But furthermore, it comes from the fact that there's not as much competition because you want the easier path. And I will say this right now. The Patriots had an easy path in the AFC East most years. And now the Rams are looking at an NFC West where the Seattle Seahawks have gone downhill a little bit. The Cardinals, I don't know what to make of them. Who knows if Kyler Murray will still be there. And the Niners are going through a quarterback change. They're losing Mike McDaniel. We'll see. I still think they'll be really good, but we'll see. Then Aaron Rodgers potentially going to the AFC and or retiring. And then you have Tom Brady retiring. So right now the Rams are in a very good spot to repeat and continue conquering this league because they're the only team that's willing to spend a second and a third rounder on a Von Miller at age 32. They're the only team that's willing to go out and make the moves necessary to win the Super Bowl. The 49ers had an opportunity at Stafford. They did not jump on it the way the Rams did. The Rams got him. The Rams realized they were smart enough. They were understanding enough to recognize, look, he's not going to bring us here. Let's get Stafford. And here they are. So I'm going to start looking at your comments. I've been talking a lot, and my voice is hanging in there. I'll bring my brother on at some point. I know some people were wondering if my brother would come on, and I'm going to read those super chats, which I really appreciate. If you drop any super chats, 100% going to read them. Just had that little intro. But again, thank you guys so much for following the channel. I'm not going anywhere. We'll be live streaming for a while, unless I die. So yeah, let's see. Samuel, thank you so much for the donation, man. Let's go, Jake. Thank you for all you do, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Without you, I'm not here. So that's that. Really do appreciate you, supporting the channel. Kyle, thank you so much for your donation. Keep doing your thing, Jake. LFG, Rams House, absolutely. Appreciate you guys that have stood by here. Look, I understand some of the things I say. They kind of contradict what you normally hear because I don't regurgitate nonsense. I do speak my mind. Sometimes it's out there. I get that. But I really do appreciate some of you listening to me. And even if we disagree, you understand what I mean when I say it. When I put my neck out there for Matthew Stafford, it wasn't just because I thought he was a nice guy and I was hoping I'd be right. It's because I really believed that I'd be right. I wanted Stafford for 5 years. I wanted the Rams to trade from 5 years ago. There's a tweet backing that up. This feels so pleasing, feels so complete. It's just amazing, man. It really is. There's not really I can't really describe it. It's just been awesome. So, guys, I really do appreciate you. Thoughts on Donald? I don't think he's going to retire. I really don't. I think that's overblown. That dude can continue playing and playing and playing. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think a lot of people that are reporting this want the Rams to be broken up because they're scared about the Rams not going away anytime soon, and I understand that. Let me see over on Facebook because I always forget to check everyone's comments and stuff. It just gets so hectic, you know? Oh, man. I'm going to have to go through all these. My phone is absolutely obliterated. I have so many notifications, people congratulating me. It's really cool. So, yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that. Oh, man. Just so cool, man. Just so cool. I'm not trying to be repetitive. I'm not trying to talk in circles. I just genuinely, just taking it all in, you know. It's not one of those things where it's like the moment's not over. This team is world champions, you know. They're world champions. So it's just incredible, you know. It's just absolutely incredible, and just what they went through. I'm just so I'm just so amazed because no one predicts injuries, and no one could have foreseen OBJ getting hurt that early on. I did foresee, by the way, having that effect. And if you guys remember the last time I was live, the pregame, I said to put some money down on OBJ anytime scorer. I hope you guys did that because you won some money if you did. Man, I need to get a drink probably because I'm losing my mind, but, you know, just crazy. Jake, I think Brady and Stafford are the only two quarterback to the Super Bowl in the first. Yeah, they're the first. Yeah, exactly. I think they're the only quarterbacks in the first year of a new team to quarterback to the Super Bowl. I agree, to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm really happy for all of you. You know, I mean, I can sit here and say, oh, this means a lot to me, yada, 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 but it means a lot to us, you know? I mean, there's a reason why it's called the Ramley, and I mean, people laugh at it, and, you know, but, I mean, you know, it's like, it's real, and I feel that. You know, I had a lot of you people that, you know, we call Ramley, you know, they wanted me to be at the game. I had somebody was like, hey, man, do you mind if I do a GoFundMe in your honor and, like, to get to the game? And I'm like, with all due respect, like, I really don't want you to do that, but I appreciate you. I had people asking me if I wanted their tickets for free to go to the NFC title game. And I just, it just means a lot, and people that donated, a lot of you donated to my grandpa's fund before he passed from glioblastoma. And I don't forget that either. So it's just like, you constantly take care of each other, and it's so inspiring, and you take care of me. So it's just so cool, man. It just really is. There's not really a way to put it into words. And I know it sounds like I'm talking in circles, and man, just, it's like the Rams just love it. Just absolutely love it. Did you really bet $1 million US on the Rams? If you're really, like, are you serious? Appreciate that, Brian. Yeah, Dylan, I hear you there. I mean, people are going to be upset because they bought into the Bengals, underdog. It's the same thing. I'm used to it because I'm a Kansas Jayhawk fan, and when the Kansas Jayhawks get upset in March Madness, and I'm not saying they're going to this year, but I'm saying when they do, anytime it happens, I always have like a bunch of people rooting against them, and I'm like, do you hate me? It's like, what's the deal? The deal is people just love the underdog. I get it. I understand it. It's annoying, sure. Have some respect, I guess, whatever. But I totally understand it. It's not something that it's like, oh, well, whatever. Like, no, I get it. I understand where people are coming from. It's, I like the underdog too, to a degree, but not in this one. And there's just like the Rams lost the coin toss again, so back-to-back games. Even though they're 10-0 when they win the coin toss, back-to-back games they lose the coin toss. And they end up winning both of those games. Pretty cool stuff there. So, but I don't know, man. Just and what was cool? I was able to use Jerry's game, man. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I was able to use on the front of that, on the front cover of that video I put out right when they won the Super Bowl. Jerry's game is like this Pixar thing, and I was able to put it out there, and it was just, I just think it's hilarious. It's like my favorite meme. I was terrified of it as a kid, but just really cool stuff. So, but yeah, guys, just, man, it's just so cool. I wonder if I can, let's see here. Let's see, because I want to see if I can bring on somebody. I want to see if I can bring on Blaine and Alexis, because I want to get their thoughts, because I work with them, and, we've spent a lot of time, trying to build DTR to what it is, and a lot of the other people there as well. So I'd love to be able to get her on in some capacity. Let's see. If we can. I don't know if we can, but we'll see if we can. Oh, yeah. I mean, there should be no debate at all. Cooper Kupp had the greatest receiving season of all time. It wasn't a debate before this game. It sure as hell ain't a debate now. Like, A-Dog, thank you so much for donating. Rams win, baby. I wonder what Skip Bayless is going to say tomorrow about Matthew Stafford now and OBJ, but I hope OBJ is okay. Man, I got to change the ticker. My bad, guys. I got to get better with this maintenance. Got to change that ticker. They're not set to play the Bengals. They played them and they won. Now it's slowing down. I don't know what's going on. Oh, boy. Yeah, I think we froze it. Oh, no, never mind. All right, there we go. So Rams are Super Bowl champions. Jazzy Jeff, thank you so much for donating. Jake called this before the season even started. He's goated with the sauce. I did call an all-LA Super Bowl with the Chargers, but that didn't work out. But I appreciate you guys, pointing that out. Really do. All right, let's see if we can get this thing going. I want to see if I can get Alexis on. Oh my God, just what a freaking game, man. Let's see. Soul Snatcher Stafford. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that part. Absolutely right on that part. I appreciate that. Thank you, Rayan. Yes, please like the video or please like the stream if you are a Rams fan who is happy that the Rams are Super Bowl champions. Let's see. Man. How are you guys celebrating tonight? How you doing it? I assume people are celebrating with lots of alcohol. I would assume that a part of that is true. Man. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's see. We're going to try to get Alexis in, then we'll try to get Blaine. Man. Yeah, today, shocking to nobody, today is actually the most views by far. It's, yeah, it's not even close. I think we're over 42,000 views on the day. So, to the shock of nobody, that's what happens when you win the Super Bowl. But, you know how that works. So, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. I want to bring people back on if I can figure this thing out. I'm also going to I'm going to get a drink real quick. I mean, my fridge is right there, so don't go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Be sure to share this with everyone who you think would care. If they don't, then don't share it with them, but if they do, then share it with them. Let's see. Oh, man. I'm just waiting for her to join. Oh, Nolan. Dude, Nolan. You might have... If I have a sparkling ice, man, you're going to get... I'm going to give you some props. 1 second. Because I was going to get a blue moon. I think there's one blue moon and there might be one sparkling ice. And I didn't even think of the sparkling ice until you brought that up. So let me see if I have it. Nolan, you are the GOAT. You are the GOAT. Nolan's the GOAT. Because, folks, do you know what this means? This is caffeine right here. This means I'm going to be up all night. This works out because I can continue to stream. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay? So I'm going to bring... Let's see here. All right. Now...
Is this live?
It is live.
Oh, are people listening?
People are listening. What's up, Alexis?
Oh, hey, what's up?
I am very happy. I'm sure you are. I'm sure everyone else is. What were your thoughts on the game?
I mean, it wasn't like the most fun to watch as a fan. I think we can all agree. Like, it wasn't like it kept us on our toes until the last minute, which is typically, how you kind of like if you're watching the Super Bowl as a non-objective fan, that's how you want it, right? You want it to be like a close game down to the end. You do
Absolutely.
not want that if it is your team. If it is your team, you
No.
are like just hoping at some point that the Rams pull away, and they ended up with the amazing touchdown at the end by Cooper Kupp. And my God, I love him so much I could cry. Literally, I was watching that, and as soon as I saw that touchdown, I was just elated. And then what it really came down to, of course, and everyone knows this, so I'm just like repeating this, but hi everyone. I can see the chat, by the way. I'm seeing everyone saying hi to me.
There you go.
So thank you, Christopher. I see.
Let's see. All right, we're trying to get her back in.
I mean, yeah, I was just elated as soon as we made that stop. I just said game.
It was
I don't know
storybook.
if you can still hear me. Am I still there?
Yeah, you are. I got disconnected, but you were there. Um, so I mean, it was really storybook, Alexis. I mean, you if you really think about it, Stafford had his interceptions, sure, but was able to make do, throwing that touchdown at Kupp. Kupp, honestly, and I know you'll enjoy this. Rodgers got the rinky-dink MVP of the regular season, the meaningless one, and Cooper Kupp got the real one, and I think, that was a big thing. So, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I think I lost to Alexis. Can you guys? I wonder if you guys can still hear. Okay, there she is. There you go. Okay, you're back. You're live, Alexis. You're back. I don't know if she can hear me or not, but let's see.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, you're
I
back.
should be back. Okay, cool. Can everyone, someone said to turn up my volume. So I just cranked it up like all the way. I'm just using headphones, which maybe I should stop using. So let me know. I can see the chat. But I don't know what I was saying whenever it got cut off. But basically, it was yes. I knew when it was up to our defense to stop the Bengals that last drive, I just knew we were going to pull it off. And we did. It was amazing.
It was very storybook. It was just cool. Seeing like Matthew Stafford. I mean, he had his interceptions, like people were talking about, but it's the way he bounced back and how he was totally locked in the fourth quarter. You look at Cooper Kupp. You know, like you'll enjoy this. Like I was saying, Aaron Rodgers won the rinky dink trophy during the regular season. Cooper Kupp won the actual MVP.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, like I kind of wanted to give the MVP to Aaron Donald.
Yeah. No, I
But
think
it
he would have been. I think there was, you know, rare instance, Alexis, because if Stafford doesn't throw maybe that one interception, and I think maybe the Skoranek one, I think he probably would have been fine. But I think the two interceptions that probably got him out of the MVP voting. I think he still was very much deserving. I think we had so many deserving. We had Donald, he had 2 sacks. You had Von Miller, he had 2 sacks. You had Cooper Kupp. And I think OBJ was going to probably win Super Bowl MVP had he not gotten hurt. That was awful. I hated that for him, and I know you did as well.
sorry you cut out when who got hurt?
OBJ.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was just I mean, it was like his kind of like it's I we've heard the term storybook ending heard so much this
Yeah.
week for both teams, but to repeat it, it's kind of like he made it to the Super Bowl. He worked so hard. He got a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and then he gets hurt on like a non-contact injury, which is just always it's just always the worst. And I could just tell right away that something snapped or something happened. And hopefully it's nothing too serious. We'll see what it is. But if it is a ACL or MCL, he'll be out at the beginning of next season. But you know what, I think this is one of those situations where, yeah, maybe he'll be out, um, but maybe Robert Woods will be coming back, and we can still keep that wide receiver room fluid, and we'll just have to see. I'm just hoping for the best for him. Um, but yeah, I mean, it obviously had to be really serious for him not to come back into the game. It just total bummer. But I'm glad that he went out there, and Odell was super emotional, and he totally contributed to this win. I mean, he got a touchdown. So, I understand like just the disappointment of getting hurt and feeling, like you're not contributing more in the game, but he did. And so, I hope that he keeps that feeling, and he's getting a ring. So, best feeling you can have.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I apologize for whatever reason our connection isn't great. I don't know. The stream was fine and now it's not. Whatever. But I mean, yeah, it's absolutely great. Christopher, thank you so much for donating. Christopher says hello, Alexis, and we are the champs. How good is this, my bro? Love it. Rams down under. Yeah, I mean, like I was telling you guys earlier. I won't talk in circles, but it just feels so crazy. It really does. I mean, this is what I expected. Alexis, I went back and I listened to our whole first pod, or not first podcast, but first thing early on in the year or last year when the Rams got Matthew Stafford. And it was like crazy listening to our old takes because like for me, like you remember, I was so for this. I had them winning the Super Bowl and it was nuts. Like to be able to have this opportunity, and I just love it for a guy like that who has been with Detroit for 12 years. Like he finally gets his moment, and it's like he's undefeated now since he left Detroit, he's undefeated in the playoffs. That's what we're talking about.
Well, and that's what I was, thinking as well is um, if you like would talk about when Matthew Stafford, because I was very hesitant about the trade. I wasn't as much hesitant about Matthew Stafford as I was the draft picks because we had been the Rams had been kind of struggling with Jared Goff up until that point. Like we made the Super Bowl, but then we were regressing, and I was like, well, maybe we need the picks to maybe add a couple key pieces, get us over that hump, and then we lost those picks for Matthew Stafford. And I said on your YouTube stream when we made this trade, I said the only way that this trade is worth it is if we make the Super Bowl. And that is exactly what we did. And we won. And in my postseason article, I think you wrote on as well for the website, but I wrote one for Downtown Rams. I said that the Rams were going to win the Super Bowl, and so did you. And we were both right.
Yeah.
So we had the opponents pretty wrong, but we both said that the Rams were going to win. So we were both correct on that. And listen, I'm just going to do a little subject change here really quick. But I know that there's all this talk about like Sean McVay leaving and Aaron Donald retiring and all this stuff. I don't know what it's like to be in their position and want more time with your family and all this stuff. Like I totally get that. That's a call that they have to make, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The Rams have a very unique opportunity to create a dynasty right now.
They are 100% agree.
They are in the unique position to where if all this stuff does happen, if Sean McVay leaves, if Aaron Donald leaves, Von Miller, whatever, you got to restart. So they need to keep everybody together because they have such an advantage right now. They're coming off a Super Bowl win. As far as we can tell, they all want to stay together. I mean, the news didn't even break until today about Sean McVay and Aaron Donald, first off, which would be a really crappy way to find out if that's all true. And after the game, Aaron Donald didn't deny it. So that kind of indicated that he is considering retirement, which I don't think he should, and I don't see that from him because he still could add so much more to his resume at this point. I actually kind of think he needs to. And I don't think that he'll retire. I think like if I had to pick, I would say I see Sean McVay leaving before Aaron Donald retires. It's just me. But the Rams, they've had a taste for the win now. They've won, and they're going to want more, and they can have more. They need to all stay together. Odell Beckham said he would take a pay cut. I'm sure Von Miller would do the same thing. The Matthew Stafford, I saw, a couple of people shared that the Rams and him want to work on a contract extension in the offseason.
Yeah.
So if all of these things can happen, I mean, the Rams, that's the best thing you can do for a team is you want to keep the fluidity. You want to keep everybody together. And I think that's what they should try to do. I really, really think, and I'm really, really hoping that Sean McVay doesn't leave and that Aaron Donald doesn't retire. Mostly that Aaron Donald doesn't retire. I really don't want him to retire because I think like he already has an insane resume, and I think he has the opportunity to like double it. Like he could play another 8 years as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if he retired. I don't buy it, to be honest with you. And I know because Sean, what happened with Sean is very simple. Someone asked him if he would coach until 60. Then, because the Super Bowl media and how big it gets that week, it went from, will you coach until 60 to, I think I lost her. Let's see. Well, you guys already know where I'm going with this, but I'll bring in Alexis now.
I'm back.
Yeah, so my point was that, he was asked if he would coach until he was 60, like, that, because he wants to have, family and all of that. And, because the week of the Super Bowl, and we talked about this, the media week, there's not a lot to talk about. It's why it's not that the Bengals were getting overhyped. It's that there's one game. And we talked about this when we were at, your house, is that it's one game. So, like, people are getting really upset about the coverage and saying it was, certain way and whatever. I think both teams were covered down the middle. I just think this is what happens when it's one game. And so the Sean McVay thing, I really feel as though he's at least going to coach another 10. I wouldn't be surprised if he coaches another 20, but he's not going to coach until he's 60. That's what he's saying. He's not going to be like Belichick coaching into, potentially his 70s.
Yeah, and I get that. And the thing is like, he doesn't have a family yet. So when people were talking about that, I was like, was that coming from him or was that coming from speculation? Aaron Donald has a family and he has kids that are older now and at the age where he, probably wants to be around more and they can do stuff together. So that to me makes more sense. And listen, that's his decision. Like I said, I don't know what that's like to have to balance that kind of work life with the family. And if Aaron Donald really, is like, what, it's time for me to just be with my family full time. It's going to suck for us. It's going to suck for the Rams fans and football fans. But, we can't really do anything to argue with that. That's his choice and his life choice. However, I really, from a fan perspective and a football perspective, hope that he doesn't because there's so much more. I want more from him. I'm greedy. I want to just see, him win more Super Bowls. I saw him out there crying and I'm so happy that he finally got one, but I'm just hoping that wasn't his end goal. I'm hoping that he wasn't just, I got one and now I'm done. But I'm seeing in the comments that McVay confirmed that he is coming back.
Yeah,
I guess after the game.
yeah.
But yeah, so Aaron Donald, I think Whitworth is gone. But that to me is very poetic. I think that's his time, and I think he had the storybook ending that he could have asked for. So, but yeah, I hope Donald stays. I really hope Beckham stays. I want everyone to stay. This is what we don't want. We don't want the team to start falling apart just after we win, because when that happens, that's typically when teams kind of have to rework things and struggle to come back. And I just think we should all stay together, and that's our best shot at repeating.
No, I agree with you. And, I think the only one that I'd be like, okay, you can go and leave. Well, first off, I'll say Whitworth for a completely different reason, not just cap space, because obviously cap space would help, right? But Witt could totally come back and play. I just don't feel like when you get to that level, when you become the Walter Payton Man of the Year, the two-time Walter Payton Man of the Year, you can have a chance to retire on top with the Walter Payton Man of the Year award and a Super Bowl against the team that drafted you. I don't know if there's a better story that you could write for Whitworth. There's just simply not. And so for me, I think retiring makes a lot of sense with him. With Weddle, that dude put it all on the line. He was hurt the whole game wearing a shoulder harness. He's done. Like he's like, wow, It actually worked. I literally waited these 2 years. I didn't make the playoffs with the Rams. I retired. I came back. They needed me. This whole experiment actually worked because he was not the one that reached out. They reached out to him. Pretty incredible that happened. I do really feel bad for guys like Higbee, Odell, Jordan Fuller, Boom, guys that weren't able to be a part of it in a way that they might have been able to and might have liked to because of the injuries. But yeah, I mean, Weddle is just there's no way he is coming back. There's
No,
just
and
no
I
way.
think the safety position also, like we have injuries right now, but we're gonna have that position, I think, pretty locked up next year. We have a really good safety room. In my opinion, a developing safety room. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm happy he won a Super Bowl. I'm happy Witt won one. I'm happy everyone won one. But in terms of like winning one and retiring, I think Witt and Weddle have the best ending they could have asked for. Super Bowl win.
Weddle also has a lot of respect because I don't know how the hell he was playing in that game. I mean, he just I think someone just said he has a torn shoulder, a torn pectoral or something, and like he's gonna have to get to me, like playing in that's just incredible. And I think Odell, that was a long-term decision by the Rams because I feel like he really wanted to go back out there and he really just couldn't. And I'm
No,
sure
he couldn't. I think it was a tear
I'm
based
hoping it wasn't
on.
a tear.
I'm hoping it's not, but
Yeah.
the way, and I don't think that I think the Rams would have put him out there if he could go even remotely. I truthfully think that because it really hurt us losing him. I mean, if you
I
think
didn't think
about
it
it,
hurt us
like
that much, by the way. I knew it
it
was
it
bad, but wow.
it ended up it ended up not hurting us that much because we won, but it would be, I mean, our offense significantly struggled because what happened is when you have two threats like Kupp and Beckham in the game, it causes some, it causes like defenses to make tough decisions because you have these two awesome guys. When Beckham got out, there was no one else really because we have so many injuries that the defense had to worry about other than Kupp. And at the end, I think Stafford was just like, F it. Like, I got to just start getting the ball to Kupp, which he
Yeah, I
did.
mean that's pretty
But
much what happened.
he basically avoided it up until like the end of the game because they were just putting so much coverage on him. And then you have guys out there, Bryson Hopkins ended up playing really well. I'm not going to get into I'm not going to get into Ben Skoranek because what people who didn't watch him in college don't understand is Ben Skoranek is not Cooper Kupp. That is literally, he's never played that role in his life. Ben Skoranek for the Rams needs to be on special teams or a red zone threat. That is it. He is not like a slot receiver. He's not like gonna run routes. Like that's just, he doesn't do that. He's never done that. He didn't even do it at Notre Dame. So Ben Skoranek was basically forced to play a role that he has no experience at because we are that down that bad. So Ben Skoranek was never going to do anything. Van Jefferson did okay. I was surprised he wasn't targeted more, honestly, because you'd think if Kupp is in and Jefferson is in, but then all the attention's going to Kupp, whatever. So there was just a lot of like, I could tell that our offense was super uncomfortable like after Odell Beckham got hurt. Like they just looked really uncomfortable. And then the run game wasn't working because the Bengals do have a very good defense. If no one knew that, they actually have like a pretty solid defense and they did a super good job stopping the run. So then we were kind of like stuck with the run game. So Odell Beckham, like it cannot be emphasized enough how much he helps this team. And I really think that the Rams would have put him out there if he could go at all. And the fact that he was not put out there tells me that it's something serious. And I could just, looking at the way he was on the sideline, if he could have been in there, he would have been.
Yeah.
And sadly, usually those non-contact things, when you step down
Oh,
weird,
I
that's what
know.
happens. But again, like, it's what, February, hey, Cam Akers came back from an Achilles in 6 months.
Yeah.
So there's time, and even if he's gonna miss some of the next season, hopefully Robert Woods is back. But we'll see.
We will definitely see. It's something to. I mean, I think this in a way kind of helps out the Rams as well because he was already going to take a pay cut, and now it's like anyone that thinks, the Rams now have to get rid of, any of them, Odell, Woods, Jefferson, and make it work. They don't. I also think in this, like honestly, I was thinking how much Ben Skoranek struggled and how he wasn't ready for the moment. Like this still very much has, like it leaves the door open for the rookies that didn't get a chance to play in this game, Tutu Atwell and Jacob Harris. And I understand. Obviously, we could be looking at a big four next year with Odell back. Hopefully he didn't tear anything. Hopefully it's a sprain and he'll be back and he'll be ready to go. Because those are weekly. If he tore something, it's going to take a while. So, I think that's really the hope here. But I mean, losing Kendall Blanton. Like, let's talk about that for a second because that I don't think we even knew. We were just like,
Yeah.
why isn't Kendall Blanton in there? Like, he hurt his like shoulder on.
Well, and he played, from my understanding, is he hurt it and then he got some type of like wrap thing on it to try and play through it. And I just think he was too hurt. It's just like the injuries were just unreal. But Kendall Blanton is is surprising, like not surprising to me really because I saw him play a lot in college, but
Yeah.
I think even so, still kind of surprising in the way that he's contributed to this team. And in my mind, up until this game, I was like, keep him and get rid of Hopkins. But then Hopkins this game, I understand it's one game. Actually, they weren't incredible, catch and runs. I mean, it wasn't flashy by any means, but he caught the ball. So, I think that we have a good tight end room. So yeah, I mean, I just think, next, it's just so weird. Like, again, we can talk about the Tutu Atwell pick and all that because, like, now theoretically, if Odell Beckham stays, you have Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Robert Woods, and Van Jefferson as like arguably the most solid group of four wide receivers in the NFL, plus Tutu Atwell, who's gonna be just, I guess, existing because he's a draft pick and I don't see us trading him. And then Ben Skowronek, who I think is mostly a special teams guy, like emergency backup wide receiver. Um, I don't know if I'm missing any other receivers.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I was
that's
texting you
six.
during the game. I was like, put in Brandon Powell.
Yeah, I don't see him at being like in the offense, but he's a great return guy.
I
He's
know.
he's the return guy that the Rams wanted Tutu Atwell to be.
He's the
Like
return
he is.
guy that they wanted JoJo Natson to be and Tavon Austin. I mean, he just,
I mean,
yeah.
he's the return guy, and I think it's a little unfortunate that we've seen that. I don't think Tutu Atwell is the return guy that we need, but
No, I mean, he
he's
didn't really
gonna.
return much in college. I think he's going to have a role down the line. Um, and I think Ben Skowronek kind of showed you, like, okay, he's really good on special teams. Like, let's not knock Ben Skowronek. He's a damn good special teams player. And like you said to me, they don't use him this way, but he could totally be used in the red zone, at the goal line, those fades. But at the same time, it's like, we talk about Skowronek and then, like Jacob Harris, and all of a sudden you're like, I mean, the Rams have so much depth everywhere, and these guys aren't necessarily walking out the door next year. So, it is a cool thing knowing that you win the Super Bowl. This experiment wasn't just an experiment. It shows you that they really are trying to build something here. And that's why, you talked about the Dynasty talk, which I made a video yesterday. I did a live stream on the Dynasty, and I have a bunch of Rams fans that were saying, there was a bunch that agreed with me, and there was a bunch that were saying I was jumping the gun, but I kept saying if. Like, I didn't say when the Rams win the Super Bowl. I didn't get cocky about it. I said if the Rams win the Super Bowl, then they very much could be the next great dynasty. Because when
Well,
you
they
look
need a
at the
win too.
well, yeah, but when you look at like the NFC, for instance, I think it's set up where the way the Rams are going, if they got to keep this play up, they got to be consistent. And obviously Stafford's not going to be able to play for 10 plus years, but even like you get 5 years out of Stafford, I think they can win multiple Super Bowls in the next 5 years if they keep the band together.
Well, if we can just keep Stafford winning until we finally have a first round draft pick, then we can just replace him with a first round quarterback in 5, 6 years. So we should, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, again, like to technically have that dynasty, we got to win again. And our best chance of winning again is keeping everybody together. Like we have to all like, and I'm sure that the Rams are aware of that. And there's some things you can't control. I mean, if Aaron Donald decides I want to go be with my family full time, you could try to convince him, but that's probably a decision that like he's going to make and he's going to stick with. Fine. Like you can't control that type of thing. But in terms of signing guys back and keeping guys around who are still going to continue to play, you can control that. So I'm just really hoping that, they'll celebrate the win, they'll have a few weeks off, celebrate, do whatever, but I'm hoping that when they finally get down to it, they'll make these decisions before the draft because, if guys are leaving, then you might say, okay, then I want to, cover this position in the draft.
No, I agree. And, it's one of those things where, if Donald leaves, it does open up $20 million in cap space. So it's not like they would just let that position go. They would go and replace that. Or they would go out and find another pass rusher, maybe an edge. Who knows? You don't want to think about that, but, it's one of those things where if the Rams do get plucked, and this is what I've been trying to explain to people, they get plucked, they still have the money, and they have the capital to go out and get guys. Because, well, yes, they don't have a first-round pick until 2024. They still have other picks, and they have 8 picks in this draft. I mean, they're expected to with the compensatories. Now you're talking they're going to get a 2 third-rounders next year because, upcoming, not this season, but next season. You know why I say that is because Raheem Morris is going to be a head coach. He's not this year because all the head coaching spots are filled, but he's going to be a head coach next year. after the season. I really believe that he was deserving. He probably should be a head coach. We could go on a tangent about that whole thing. But, it's the 2-year rule, Alexis, and I do think it kind of worked out for the Rams because now they'll get 2 third-rounders when Raheem Morris becomes a head coach.
Yeah, I'm just happy we won, man.
Oh, well,
I'm just
I'm
happy
with you on
about
that.
it.
Happy for O'Connell, too. That's the best way to leave a job.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the win was the Rams were all in this season, and this was the only way it was going to pay off. I mean, we know that they made all the moves, they did all the things, and they did it to win, and that's what they did. So that's what matters. I mean, it would have been very, very hard to recover from losing the Super Bowl in your home stadium.
Oh, yeah. That would have been awful.
That would just be like every
Every
game
game.
after that would just be a reminder that you lost the championship, the biggest championship in the world, in your home stadium. That to me would have I never would have recovered from that. So I kept thinking about that. I was like, they really need to win just because the fact that every time you show up to work in the stadium, it's just going to be tainted. So I'm happy for that. But I am going to hop off, guys. I'm going to bed soon. I have to wake up sadly tomorrow, even though we won the Super Bowl, and I'm going to watch the new episode of Euphoria.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I'll be a while because I'm gonna be streaming, but we'll text tomorrow.
Well, it was funny. It's funny because everyone today was like, "Which Super Bowl are you watching? The Super Bowl, or who are you cheering for in the Super Bowl, Maddie or Cassie?"
I saw that.
Yeah, which is true because we all want to know what happened after that. Not to spoil anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But yeah, all right, guys. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. I am going to be making videos soon.
Everyone go raid Alexis's channel with subscriptions. I dropped the link in there just now.
I have a whole setup that Jake was in town and helped me set up. I just have a few more things to work out. And I will be 99% of what I'll be doing is what Jake is doing right now. It's just streaming because I just want to interact and talk to people. I'm not going to make a lot of just
videos.
Just regular videos. But all right, see you guys. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at the Alexis Craft. I'm good at checking my mentions there. All right, have fun. Go Rams. We won.
Yes. Thanks for stopping by, homie. Appreciate you.
Yep. All right, I'll see ya.
All right, have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, bye. All right, guys. Just had Alexis Craft, my co-host of the Downtown Rams podcast, on. That was good, man. That was a lot of fun having her on. This just been an incredible time. Like I said, I hope you guys don't have any plans. We're gonna keep streaming. Just keep on streaming. We are dropping frames. I do apologize for how much it's lagging. I don't know why it's lagging so much, but it is. So maybe we'll figure that out at some point. I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to probably bring on some more people. Appreciate you guys subscribing. Definitely go and subscribe to Alexis's channel. I'm following it right now. We're at 122 subscribers. So we've had 10 subscribers on our channel since I pointed that out. If everyone could go, first off, like this video, like this stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and then go hit Alexis Craft up with her on her channel with the subscription. Would really appreciate that. I'm going to pin it so you can literally go to that link and we can get her subscribers up. I would love it if we could just absolutely just rip those subscribers, just go through the roof with them, help her out. And I really appreciate you guys helping me out as well. I'm going to keep following it. We'll keep monitoring it at 122. Let's see if we can get to 200. Would be really cool if we could. We'll see, man. We'll see if Vaughn comes back. Just got home from the Super Bowl party. What up, Jake? How we feeling? We're feeling great, Julian. Hope you're feeling well. Sorry if I'm missing, guys. Any comments? I'm trying my best to follow these. Let's see. Oh, Joseph, I'm sorry I missed your super chat. Bro, we won. Hell of a year. Let's run it. I can't even talk. Let's run it back, bro beans. Thank you so much, Joseph, for donating. Again, I apologize for any super chats I missed or comments. It's Fast and Furious. It's awesome. I love it, but it is Fast and Furious, so I'm trying to follow them as they come up. All right, let's see. Yeah, it really is. It's just so awesome. Totally agree with you, Bob. Halftime show was lit. Yeah, really enjoyed watching Eminem and Kendrick on the halftime show. Let's see. Run it back? Absolutely, got to run back. You called this whole season, Jake? Appreciate you recognizing, man. Appreciate you recognizing. It's just it's not about I told you so. It's just I'm glad it happened, But I really felt I believed in it, and that was the greatest Super Bowl I've ever seen. That was just, oh man, that was so awesome. That was so awesome. Just the fact that they persevered through all those hiccups, all those injuries. It just doesn't get any better than that. But let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know how that Higgins call wasn't a face mask, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'll live. Just oh my god. I think it's so funny. There's so many people like congratulating me. Um there's so many people congratulating Rams fans. It's really cool, but it's also really funny just watching this unfold. Man, that Super Bowl champion graphic looks so cool. Man, I'm wondering if my brother's going to come downstairs cuz you know, that's I'm going through my mentions right now. They're absolutely flooded. Um Bengals fan, I understand. Trust me, I get it. When they lost to the Patriots, it was very painful. What I would say to you is that your team played a hell of a game. They were very close to winning a Super Bowl, and it was the second year for Joe Burrow. So just imagine what can happen now. Joe Burrow's a proven winner, and I don't know why you retracted the message, but I think I'm not saying the Bengals will be back, but I really do think that the Bengals are a team to watch moving forward. I wouldn't rule them out. I do think that last place schedule helped, and then the first place schedule next year will hurt, but you know. Almost doesn't count. Lols. The 7 straight winners of coin flip have one Super Bowl is now broken. Yeah, anybody still want to fire Raheem? Love it. I agree with that. I probably would have pulled for the Bengals because if the Rams didn't make it, then the 49ers would have. So it would have easily been for the Bengals. And I think that they were pretty likable, to be honest with you. I had a good time interacting with a lot of those fans. So a really good time, actually. Had some good spaces on Twitter. Wow. Just wow, man. Mac, thank you so much for donating. Super Bowl champions, let's go. Despite all the hurdles, as McVay says, we gave our best when our best was required. It's funny, I kept saying that. That's really what happened. I mean, I did predict it, Carter. Thank you. Oh, man. Wide receiver core looks about as stacked as can be. I think it's going to be Odell. I think it's going to be Kupp. I think it's going to be Woods. I think it's going to be Jefferson. And I think you look at Tutu Atwell and Jacob Harris and Skoranek to round it out. They'll keep 7. They'll probably keep 8 receivers and probably just call Jacob Harris a tight end and keep Powell on the roster so he can be the returner. But all right. Let's see if I can get Blaine. Yeah, I mean Brandon Powell will be the return man, no doubt. I mean Bryson Hopkins' biggest weakness was pass protection, but I thought he's improved as a blocker. It's not. Oh my god! Of course, rigged is trending. I mean, no one could take anything away from the Rams. They won without OBJ. They won without Kendall Blanton. They won without Robert Woods. They won without. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Jordan Fuller. I don't know. They were banged up with injuries, and they continue to find ways to win. That's what the good teams do. They were the best team all year, like I said. You guys agreed with me, and, well, that's why we're here. That's why we're talking. That's why this is happening, So, yeah, again, best when best is required. That's what it's all about. I mean, I'm not wrong. But yeah, exactly. They didn't even establish the run. They weren't even close to establishing the run. I mean, when you really think about it, that's a good point. Yeah, they weren't even close. So I think here's the thing. I think Van Jefferson is really good. I think in this game he struggled. He's still young. This is his second season. I don't write guys off like that who had 800 yards in their second season. I do understand, though, why people were upset and everything with him dropping the pass, not going after, when they threw it up. But, I mean, be salty, but the Rams defense did enough to keep them in the game to allow them to do what they did. And that's that's all I can really say about that, you know. The Rams defense continued time after time to get stops. So, you can say what you will, but if the Bengals fans are, and not all Bengals fans are doing it, but I know rigged is trending, as someone said. So is Ultron, by the way. Ultron is trending. Jared Goff is trending. Poor Jared. Go Steelers is trending. X-Men in the MCU is trending. Oh, I never saw the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer on, today, like people were saying. What's up, Ashton? I'm going to be, happy for Vaughn is trending. Happy for OBJ is trending. DJ Reader's trending. Flip the Turf is trending. Higgins is trending. The LeBron is trending. I don't know why the LeBron is trending. Al Michaels is trending. Stan Kroenke. Kevin King. Go Bills is trending. Flacco. Trayvon Diggs, the NFL. Some bizarre ones here. Yeah, I don't know. I figured I'd post a snippet of. Yeah, I don't know the rig stuff. I'm not gonna put too much. You're gonna have those conspiracy whack jobs with their. Well, when you saw, the coin toss, the guy winked at Stafford, and now all of a sudden the Rams are being told that they're gonna win the game. No, that's not how it works. And I've seen those things, and they're absolutely ridiculous. They're really funny. They're fun to watch, but congratulations, TJ. Remember what I told you? TJ Gregory. Remember what I said? Remember we were sitting here? I did one this season. I did one watch party. The Rams got obliterated. It was the only blowout that they had all season. I did a watch party. A 31-10. Remember what I said, TJ? Remember what I said, my friend? This isn't hate. I'm just, I'm having some fun here. I know we all want the same thing, obviously, but this is why I never gave up on this team. I never gave up on Raheem Morris. I never gave up on Stafford. I never gave up on him despite going, 0-3 in those games. I mean, Van is fine, guys. Van had 800 plus yards in his second season. That doesn't normally happen. Well, yeah. I have, okay, so if Rodgers goes to Denver, I have the Rams and Broncos going to the Super Bowl next year. Rams winning back-to-back. If Rodgers doesn't go to Denver, I'm going to have to give it some more thought. Because I'm not going to pick the Chiefs. I'm not going to pick the Chargers. I don't know. In the AFC, I might go Rams-Bills if Rodgers doesn't go to the Broncos. Is it definitely another ACL? Do we know about OBJ? I gotta look that up. I haven't really been following the tweets. I only found out about who won Super Bowl MVP because someone told me in the chat. I mean, Aaron Donald with his whole family at the point. Aaron Donald says he is in the moment right now. He says he's going to enjoy this with his family for a few days. That's where his focus will be. He promised his youngest daughter she would be able to play in the Super Bowl confetti, and tonight she did. Sean McVay saw 4th and 1 and Bengals in the gun, and then he called Aaron Donald's shot that he would end the game. He is the effing man. After Cooper Kupp scored the go-ahead touchdown, he went right to Robert Woods on the sideline, and the team started celebrating around them. He said simply to Kupp applesauce. Let's see. Apparently Van Jefferson grabbed his daughter as she and his dad came into the field and sprinted through the locker room. He's headed to the hospital right now. Samaria, his wife, is having their son and was rushed to the hospital mid-game as she went into labor. Incredible. So he probably had a lot on his mind, to be fair. His wife was about to have a kid. Let's see. Rams fans. I'm trying to find like any info. Maybe Adam Schefter has it. I don't know. Does anyone know about Odell? The next 3 Super Bowls: Glendale, Arizona in 2023, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada in 2024. In 2025, we'll have the Caesars Superdome, New Orleans, as the Super Bowl. Taylor Rapp proposed to his girlfriend after the game. Eric Weddle tore his pec. OBJ hurt his knee, and Andrew Whitworth and Aaron Donald are talking retirement. That is what Adam Schefter is tweeting out. I think it's the moment, but I definitely... They did, Nolan. They did. They absolutely did, man. Dear God. I'm not retiring. Nuh-uh. You guys are going to see me get wrinkles and shit on my face before I retire. This is my career, folks. Whether you like it or not, this is my career. This is what I'll be doing. I will be doing talk shows. I will be constantly podcasting, sportscasting, things like that. This is my passion, so I'm not going anywhere. Absolutely not. No way. No way. And that's a good sign that OBJ was walking around, clowning around and everything. Appreciate you, Johnny. Hell yeah, Nolan. Hell yeah. It's just like we talked about. You can't take anything away from Stafford anymore. Oh boy, I almost just broke something. Oh man. Oh, my buddy Blaine Greasack, the managing editor of DowntownRams.com, will be coming on soon. Nolan, stop it right now with NFL rooms. Oh my god. Or NFL rums, whatever you want to call them. Jake Ellenbogen is thinking possible retirement. I know you're over there cackling like a hyena. Dear God, I have no idea about the parade. Jake, this is your place and your destiny, my friend. Nolan and I will be on your live TV show in a few years. I know you are, Nolan. I know you're cackling. I know you are. I know you by now. At least I think. Maybe I don't. Maybe that's the problem. Man. What a freaking, I don't know, man. Freaking frackin' as Tom Grossi would call it. Let's freaking frackin' go. That's what he would say. Feel.
The Rams are Super Bowl champions, dude. I'm so ecstatic. I can't even put it into words. Oh my gosh, when they were down 20-16 with 6 minutes left, the last couple of drives that they had done nothing, and then Stafford takes them 79 yards down the field, finds Cooper Kupp on the back shoulder fade, and then Aaron Donald gets the pressure on Burrow to clinch the win. I can't even believe it.
You just took I thought I was excited, but I mean I've started to go down because I'm getting tired. You know, you get tired when you're in front of a camera for a while, but you just came in here and you're like, Jake, the Rams are Super Bowl champions. I love it, man. I love that energy.
It might be the 2 double IPAs and 2 regular IPAs talking, but I can't believe it because like I said, they were down 20-16. The offense had done nothing basically the entire second half without OBJ, and then Stafford takes them down 79 yards. They score the game-winning touchdown, and then Burrow goes down. They're at midfield, and then it's Aaron Donald, of course, that ends the game. And it's I can't even believe it.
Dude, I hear you. And this is one sec. I have a donation. HD. What will the media say to discredit us now? I don't know, but you answer this one. I'll answer it after you.
I think for starters, they'll say that all the calls at the end, the hold on Cooper Kupp, the defense, the pass interference, the officials are basically letting the players play the entire game, and then there were a bunch of calls at the end, but I think they were legitimate calls. Kupp was held on that third down that led to an automatic first down, a new set of downs, and then there was a pass interference there that put him at the 1 yard line. Those did happen, and then I think that as far as Stafford's concerned, I think the media will say, "Oh, it's the defense that won the game," and all this, and yeah, I think those are two of the main things that'll come out over the next couple of days.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I would just say this. Well, first off, I gotta laugh because I looked at a tweet because I put up the snippet that I sent you of that video.
Yeah.
By the way, I dropped the video. I did a live premiere of it when they won the Super Bowl.
Nice.
And I didn't realize how in I went on some of these guys. I was laughing hysterically watching it. And I couldn't go live until I finished watching the video that I literally have already watched 3 times over editing. And you're in it, by the way. You're at the beginning. Talking about Matthew Stafford and when they made the move. Because I had to bring you in, man. How it all
I was I can't believe we were on talking Senior Bowl stuff, and then all of a sudden they make the trade for Stafford and when we're live, and it's holy shit. And and I just Yeah, and I can't. And then yeah, now this brings it all full circle. Like
Oh
right.
yeah. Well, and that's what it is. It's full circle, Blaine. We were sitting there, and I put my two fingers up. I was like, "Oh my God, the Rams just traded for Matthew Stafford." And you're like, "No way! Oh wow, wow!" Like, you're like,
Yeah, like just speechless. I'm speechless now. Like I don't even know what to say because like everybody after the trade happened, or not everybody, but there were some people like, oh, like like they had Jared Goff. Jared Goff was fine. Like I don't know why they traded Goff and 2 first-round picks, and down 20-16 with 6 minutes left to go in the Super Bowl is why you trade for Matthew Stafford. Like that is why you make that move, and it just this just approves everything that Leslie and Sean McVay did over the last 12 months.
oh yeah, it's incredible. Christopher, thank you so much for donating. I started my Rams journey when you started on DTR. I heard you on Locked On with Bear. Mate, thanks for your passion and knowledge. Can't wait to meet. Thank you so much, Christopher. You have been or Boondy. Sorry, I know you. That's where you like being called, so I'm gonna call you that. Boondy, man. I'll just tell you right now. Really appreciate your undying support, and Bear talks some amazing things about you. So, I'm glad we've stayed in contact, and you're always supporting the stream. So really appreciate it. The OGs remember when Blaine Grisak was on JE Live. You've been on quite a few times, but and I guess your dog's trying to get some time
Yeah,
in there.
she wants to let everybody know what she thinks.
Yeah. but man, I think the biggest time you were on here is 100%. It wasn't the best quality because it was just audio like we're doing now. Like I've had you on video and I thought our video was really good. We had the Niners, I believe, covered that game. Is this. When you came on for that Senior Bowl, you were so prepared. And I almost felt bad because you were so prepared for the Senior Bowl and I hadn't really followed it that year. And you were like, just, yeah, this guy and like this guy. And like, you were just way ahead. And you're just like, you know what? Nuke Blaine and everything that he's ever done about the Senior Bowl. And let's just make everything about us. Because that's the Rams. Only the Rams make that move like a week before the Super Bowl. They're like, yeah, we're just going to make a blockbuster move to go and acquire Matthews. And you and I, we different on like, because I did, and you're like, wow, that up. You did say, I did, that this team should be able to win a Super Bowl now that they have, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the ultimate goal, wasn't it? Like, you don't make that move unless the Super Bowl is your goal, is your ultimate goal, and the timing of when they did, like, they completely blew up like every headline going into the Super Bowl. Like that was a headline going in: "Oh, the Rams trade for Matthew Stafford. They're going to be this huge threat next year." And I'm kind of curious, like, if more teams make big moves like this, because when you look at last year, the Bucks make this big move to sign Tom Brady, and then this year the Rams make the big move to trade for Matthew Stafford. Like, does a team make it like the Broncos make this big move to trade for Aaron Rodgers? Does like a team like Tampa Bay maybe try to trade for Russell Wilson? Like this just opens just such a huge can of worms, I think, in terms of the quarterback landscape in the NFL, where there's like I don't think teams in the past would have been open to making this type of move, but after this year, like I think they are.
Well, I 100% agree. I think I said that earlier in the show, actually. It opens up, like you said, it's a copycat league, and so it does open up a can of worms. And, it's a challenge to do what the Rams did because just because you have the blueprint doesn't mean you can execute the blueprint. I mean, a lot of stuff had to go right for the Rams. And to be honest with you, if they didn't do such a great job developing the guys behind all the stars, they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl because they needed those chain movers. You talk about a guy like Bryson Hopkins who had 1 catch for 9 yards in his career, and that came in December against the Seattle Seahawks. And then he comes in, he goes 4 catches, 40-plus yards on the grandest stage of them all. That's a credit to the coaching staff and, developing these guys. He was ready for the moment, and you could argue, obviously, Skoranek was not, and other guys, didn't do as well as you would have hoped, but let's talk about it for a sec. Your guy, I'm going to give you some props here. I mean, it's not like I shouldn't give you props. I mean, I've given you props before. Two of your linebackers, by the way, were starting in the Super Bowl. Logan Wilson on one side, and how about freaking Ernest Jones, man? What a game out of the rookie inside linebacker who's coming off of injury.
He had such a good game. Oh my gosh, the pass breakup on that first fourth down
Oh,
stop was like that was huge. And then just all game he was everywhere making tackles and just yeah, like you said, just huge game from him. And
the delayed blitz where he literally
yeah,
gets hit by Joe Mixon. It's not even a bad pass. It's not even a bad blitz pickup, but he stays on his feet and just runs and gets Burrow. He played out of his mind.
yeah, and he's just like I said last year. Like when I did like I do every year. I do the Snead snacks, and I try to find find players that fit exactly what the Rams are kind of looking for. And Ernest Jones was one of those guys for me, and he fits exactly what the Rams want to do. And I think you saw that when he was in the game this year. I think the sky's the limit for him because you just saw when he was in games this year that the Rams linebackers just played so much better with him in the game than without him. Like you didn't see them being exploited in coverage like you did with Troy Reader.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and I think it was just like how about like Darius Williams? I thought he played a pretty solid game. These guys stepped up. I mean, man, you want to talk about a guy that no ifs, ands, or buts about it is 100% retiring after this game? It's Eric freaking Weddle because man,
dude had a sling on and he's playing like what?
I mean, I've never seen that before. I mean, I know like we saw like what was it, Ray Lewis? He retired out on top. He had like the giant brace on his arm, but that was known. Like Weddle was like, I mean, dude, he gets hurt in this game, and then he could have made a what do you want to call it? A career decision? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
He could have made a career decision, like Marcus Peters, people would say. And Eric Wells like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna leave it all on the field. I'm gonna leave it all on the line. This is my last game. And he just freaking comes over and lays the boom on that guy, forcing him down and saving the first down. It was just a lot of fun. And you know what I'll say is this. I know people were really they were kind of, I guess, bummed out that the run game was so non-existent. But I don't really care because at the end of the day, this run game will be fine. We saw, obviously what Henderson can do in the receiving game. Cam Akers, to me, is just going to be a completely different Cam Akers when next season starts. I personally think that I don't say he was rushed back. I just think people forget what it's like when you haven't played all season and trying to get back into that game shape. And I'll go as far as to say this, Blaine, and some people may not like it, but I just don't think the Cardinals were that great. And so I think we kind of jumped the gun a little bit on Cam Akers. We saw what he could do. And, we kind of just, assumed, okay, this guy's going to go over 100 or whatever. That was not the case. Hats off to the Bengals. They did a great job against the run. Rams interior offensive line, they did get body. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they are Super Bowl champions. And they can focus on all of these things in the offseason. And another thing here is the Rams win either way. Because if Whitworth comes back, they have a left tackle who can still play at age 41. I think it's pretty obvious this guy can still play. He had a good game. He had some moments, where he lost. And obviously going up against one of the best pass rushers in the league and Trey Hendrickson, very impressed, by the way, with him. But in the same token, he also is somebody who is a heavy cap hit, about $14 million that comes off the books if he retires. And if he retires, man, we've talked about this. You retire in the mountaintop with a freaking Walter Payton Man of the Year award that hardly anybody can get because only one person each year can get it. And it's one of those very illustrious awards that's really hard to earn. And then on top of it, so you have that, I believe he's a 2-time Walter Payton Man of the Year anyway. Then he retires, not just winning a Super Bowl, Blaine, against the team that drafted him. Talk about storybook.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta feel just so happy for Andrew Whitworth. I mean, he puts together this incredible career. He's been so underrated. He doesn't have the all pros that he should have because, like you said, he was drafted by the Bengals. They didn't have all the wins and the success. And then he comes to Los Angeles, has some success, but doesn't still for whatever reason doesn't get the all pros. And then this year he finally gets a Super Bowl win. He finally wins a great award, like the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. I thought it was really cool that they were able to get the Walter Payton Man of the Year award patch on his jersey for this game. I think
Oh,
that
that was
was
so awesome,
that was
man.
so cool heading into this game. And then just kind of going back to the other point, like the Rams showed just how versatile they were with their running backs. I mean, Cam Akers wasn't really getting it done. Like he ran hard, but there was just nothing there. They tried Sonny Michel and the same thing, and then they throw in Darrell Henderson, and just his ability as a receiver is just it's something that Michelle and Akers just can't do. For like Henderson is just such a great receiver. I think he had 40 some odd receiving yards in this game, and just they really needed Henderson to step up in this game, and he did. And to come back from injury and put together a performance like he did was crucial.
I agree. And it's one of those things. It's next man up. It's all hands on deck. And I mean, there were people that wanted Henderson cut. There were people that wanted Henderson to never get a carry again, and he didn't get really many carries. He only had about 3, I think, that only went for 7 yards or something like that. Same for Kupp's. Huge. I mean, dude, they called on what was it, 4th down?
Fourth down from their own like 30-yard line. Like they don't make that, and the game is over.
That was so ballsy. And I honestly felt like that was the perfect call because who is so good at eluding tacklers? It is Cooper Kupp, man. If you did that with Van Jefferson, I don't know if he gets that,
Yeah,
I feel like
I 100% agree. Like to run that with Kupp is just like I wish they would have done co-MVPs because for Stafford to lead that drive, that game-winning drive, like that is a Joe Montana like John Candy moment. Like they he had that game-winning drive, and like most quarterbacks to lead a game-winning drive in the Super Bowl will win the Super Bowl MVP. But I also think that Kupp deserves it too because he had 2 touchdowns. He had the game-winning touchdown. He had the game-saving play on 4th down there. Like I think they both deserve it, and I am glad I went to Kupp because it caps off just a great season that he had with the Triple Crown. It kind of makes up for him not winning the league MVP. But I just kind of feel bad that Stafford's not included in that discussion because he did have a really good game too.
I agree with you there. It's one of those things, though. It's a good problem to have. I mean, you could have given it to Donald. You could have given it to Vaughn. They both had 2 sacks. You could have given it to Ernest Jones, who had a sack. He had a huge breakup. He had a bunch of tackles, played really well. I mean, there were a lot of guys that I think were in, contention. I was a little surprised with Jalen Ramsey because, take away the 75-yard touchdown. Obviously, that was BS. I mean, I've never seen such a more blatant OPI, but that wasn't called. But I mean, take that away. Jalen Ramsey didn't have his best performance on the grand stage. I was a little surprised by that.
I was surprised too. I mean, he against Tampa Bay, he gives up the big reception to Mike Evans, and then in the NFC Championship game, he drops the interception. Like I was expecting a huge bounce back performance from Jalen Ramsey, and he did have a couple pass breakups that were pretty big, but he gave up the big reception to Jamar Chase to set up, I believe, the touchdown pass from Mixon to Higgins, and then there's the OPI in Higgins that he gives up the huge 75-yard reception on the first play of the second half. But that is what it is. It should have been called. Inexcusable that it wasn't. But I was expecting a better performance from Jalen Ramsey overall, and it was a little disappointing to see him not step up in this big moment. But at the end of the day, like the Rams are Super Bowl champions. It doesn't matter. Like they're hoisting the Lombardi Trophy either way.
And Blaine, it's fun. It's such an egregious, but at the same time, Ron Torbert's crew was phenomenal. That was the best officiated game I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, they let the guys play for the most part. Even like at the end of the game, like I said when I first came on, like they didn't call the holding. They called the holding on Kupp, and there are some that are complaining about it. But at the end of the day, like that was a holding. It was a good call. Those were good calls at the end of the game, even though they called them in crucial moments. Like they easily could have not called them, and we're talking about them now as like, hey, you should have called those. But they had the guts to make those calls in the big moments, and that's exactly what you want. And for the most part, I mean, I have no complaints with the officiating whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I think here's the thing, Blaine, and this is what I'll say to any Bengals fan that was complaining about those holds. First off, they were not in a position, they didn't feel confident in actually playing their man. So that is the first tale. The second, look at the Henderson hold before the Kupp hold. they let him get away with that, and I feel like that was a warning, kind of an verbalized warning, like, hey, you do that again, we're going to throw the flag. And then the next freaking play, you have Logan Wilson holding on to Cooper Kupp's back. He makes a play, and they're like, oh, well, like, Chris Collinsworth is like, that's a hold? And I'm like, yes, it is. You can't just grab the jersey backwards, dude. Like, I understand you played in 2 Super Bowls for the Bengals, but, like, chill, So I'm glad they threw the flag, and I'm glad that they let them, like, okay, we're not going to throw it on the Henderson thing. You do it again, we're going to throw it. And so, I was just very impressed with Torbert. And I really, at the same time, this is what I expected. It's why I was excited when they announced that he was the ref.
And even earlier in the game, like I think on the pass breakup on the Bengals' first scoring drive when they kicked the field goal, like Jalen Ramsey had some contact on Higgins at the goal line. They didn't call like, and it was kind of ticky tack anyway. Like they were letting the guys play for the most part, but the Kupp call to me, like that was pretty blatant.
Yeah,
a pretty blatant holding, and the pass interference, like that was a pretty blatant DPI in my opinion. Like they called the obvious stuff, and for the most part, they let the ticky tack stuff go.
Yeah, and you know what's really exciting about this? They only scored 23 points. They're winning a Super Bowl here. This is the second Super Bowl in the Rams' history. It's the 4th NFL championship in the Rams' history. But Blaine, I don't feel like this offense is anywhere near what it is capable of being. And I think a lot of this is because of the injuries, but also because I think, you just kind of threw this quarterback in there in 1 year and was like, let's get it done. They got it done. This is why I feel like you start using that D word. I know, Blaine, like we talked about, and that one dude, the comment that I sent you, he was just like, oh, it's disrespectful, the Dynasty word before the game or whatever. I said in the Super Bowl. Let's talk for a sec. NFC. We've talked about the Rams. Arguably, if Aaron Rodgers leaves, the Rams have the best quarterback in the NFC. But furthermore, what Sean McVay can do next year, now that Stafford is in year 2 in this offense, I mean, it's a dream.
Yeah, I mean they can continue building on what they've done this year. Plus, Odell Beckham. I mean, barring hopefully his knee's okay. Like, it sucks to see him go out. Like, you can see him in tears on the sideline. Like, he wanted to be out there so bad, and so hopefully they can continue. He wants to be back. Like, all the reports before the game were saying Odell Beckham wants to be back in LA. Like, he loves being there. So hopefully they get him back. But they have Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham. Robert Woods comes back next year,
yeah,
and they have Van Jefferson. Like, those are give me a better top 4 wide receiver core than the Rams' potential wide receivers next year. Like, that is a solid top 4 wide receivers, and you can continue to build on. Like, Odell Beckham came in the middle of the year. Like, give him a full offseason of work,
exactly,
and you can use him more in basically just red zone situations, which is basically what they used him in this year. Was basically just red zone situations, and he was a decoy everywhere else.
They had no answer for OBJ.
No, and so you start using him more in more situations and more all over the field. Like, it's going to be tough to defend this Rams offense next year, and they can just keep on building what they've done this year.
And it's here's the thing that people don't get is that we're paying Robert Woods all this money, let's trade him. You don't understand. They put it together the way they came in with Leonard. It gives them this out, right? Because they can get Leonard Floyd's deal doesn't live up to the contract, but clearly Leonard Floyd's living up to it. So you're totally fine kicking the can down the road another year. So you're absolutely going to restructure when that cap hit goes, past 16, this upcoming season. And then on top of it with Woods and Kupp, I mean, you want to bring those guys back, obviously. So you hit those, you hit those with the restructure, and that's how there's a pathway, Blaine. I know it's hard for people to understand, but and it sounds crazy, like you're not going to restructure 7 guys. Teams do that, and the Rams have been restructuring a lot more lately. So I really do feel like the way they've started to, structure these contracts gives them that ability to do that. And so, Blaine, realistically, they have a pathway to $60 million in cap space this upcoming season.
Yeah, and they'll extend Stafford, which will open up cap space as well for next year. And just like Cam Akers comes in at the end of the year, coming off his Achilles, like not having a full offseason with Stafford. Like he'll have a full offseason with Stafford, and I'm sure we'll see him in the passing game next year as well. Like people forget, like he's been out since basically June or June or July. Like he didn't get a full offseason with Stafford as his quarterback. Like just to, so I think like you add OBJ into this full off into this having a full off season, add Cam Akers into that as well, and I just think this offense can take another step next year, and they're already among the best offenses in the league.
Well, and then on top of it, let's talk about this, right? So because I understand at first glance, and I don't want to hate on the guy because quite honestly, I'm so happy for Kevin O'Connell. I'm so happy that Kevin O'Connell comes here, he wins a freaking ring as the OC, and now he gets to go be the head coach of the Vikings and be probably a pain in the ass over there because I think they're going to be a good football team. I'm happy for him. And wow, Johnny, thank you so much for the 50 donation, man. I really appreciate that, Coach. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Holy, I love that.
People are generous after the Super Bowl win.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean though? I'm happy for O'Connell. I'm really, really happy for Raheem Morris because I didn't think it was fair. I mean, we were on the Raheem Morris train the whole year, and if anybody wants to challenge us on that, then shot by Nolan.
The Bengals didn't score for the last 26 minutes of the game, basically.
I know.
Like the defense completely shut out Cincinnati for the final 26 minutes, and if they don't, the Rams likely lose this game. And the fact that I can't believe Raheem Morris doesn't have a head coaching job next year. I mean, give me another coaching candidate. Give me another coaching candidate that has experience coaching the offense and the defense and has former head coaching experience. Like there's nobody like that out there, and hopefully he gets a shot next year. But just huge props to him. The defense stepped up when they needed to the last 2 weeks, and it ended up in a Lombardi Trophy and with the Super Bowl ring.
And I think he's better than Brandon Staley. And I appreciate Brandon Staley for putting all right. So Brandon Staley kind of introduced the Rams to the Vic Fangio scheme, right? That type of style. But it was Raheem Morris that took that and had to do something extra with it because he didn't have John Johnson, Troy Hill. Like I would argue the secondary last year was better than the secondary this year.
Oh, 1,000%. Like you had Darius Williams playing at such a high level. You had Troy Hill playing very well, much better than David Long, obviously. You had John Johnson, who's one of the top safeties, who was one of the top safeties in the league, and actually, for a big free agent, like he continued playing very well in Cleveland as well. For Raheem Morris to basically do what he's done with Nick Scott and Eric Weddle and David Long is just incredible.
Yeah, and let's talk about this, Blaine. Could this have worked out any better for the Rams as far as coaching staff? Look, O'Connell, but down out the door, you know where I'm going with this next point. Thomas Brown, who I think is really the next big thing, to be honest with you. I'm willing to put my name behind this. I would hire Thomas Brown if I was looking for a head coach. You talk about, the minority candidates and whatnot. This guy would be at the top of my list with Raheem Morris. I really feel that highly about him. And I was a little concerned that the Dolphins would do it. And then I realized the Dolphins don't run that great of an organization. So I was like, okay, they won't do it. But they did interview him. So now Thomas comes from Georgia coach, wide receiver coach with South Carolina. He comes over. His first year, he's running back coach, takes over for Skip Pete. And then literally the second season, Sean McVay is like, you know what? You're the assistant head coach now. You challenge me. You challenge me in a way no one else is. You're not a yes man. That's what I like. And so he actually has a little bit, he's done an amazing job with the running backs, getting Sony Michel ready, Hendo, Akers coming back from the injury. Even the other guys that don't have as big of a role, like a Buddy Howell or a Jake Funk, I really give a ton of credit to him. And now, where I'm going with this, Thomas Brown now has to be the OC. So this is great. It keeps Thomas Brown in the building because it's a promotion. It's an inside promotion, so all these people that were complaining is that the Rams don't look inside their house to promote. Now they can promote Thomas Brown, unless they, go somewhere outside the box.
What concerns me though, Jake, about that is that I was reading reports today that Liam Cohen from Kentucky, who he was, I think, the quarterbacks coach of the Rams, and then went to Kentucky to take their OC position. I think he might be the favorite to take the OC from what I was hearing today. And then if he's not hired, like Greg Olson, I think, is off the Raiders staff now. And he has experience with the Rams in 2017, so he could be up for the OC position as well. Like, I hope it's Thomas Brown. Like, I'm with you there. If it was up to me, like, I would hire Thomas Brown just because, like you said, like, he challenges McVay. Like, he's earned this promotion, but at the same time, like today, I was just reading, and it seemed like Cohen and Olsen might be in the mix as well.
Now, Olsen, I understand you have that familiarity with him from 2017, I believe. O'Connell is gone. Cohen was there. I think he was a quarterback's coach or assistant quarterback's coach. He was there. He goes to Kentucky. Here's the thing. I understand the familiarity with Cohen. You just won a Super Bowl. To me, you got to go with the guy. And I know you agree with me on this, but you got to go with Brown.
Yeah.
To me, Thomas Brown, especially – you want to talk about the minority hiring, and all of that right now and the way that's going. I don't think that'd be a good look either.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, Thomas Brown has put in his dues. Like, he's clearly earned that promotion. I think he's the obvious answer. If they go to a guy like Cohen, I don't think it's a great look. And I wouldn't be surprised if they lose Thomas Brown anyway to a team like Minnesota, where maybe Kevin O'Connell hires Brown as his OC. Like, I just would hate to lose I would hate to lose Thomas Brown, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's special. I really do. I get kind of that same vibe I got with Aubrey Pleasant, who I still think is going to be a good head coach whenever it comes. But, Nolan tends to agree. He really wouldn't be. His ass Brown is. He's the running and the assistant. Just what I've heard about Thomas Brown is just like Sean McVay loves him because he's not a yes man. Like, he will literally challenge him on anything. I think that's the thing. Forget it. And I've been told I'm not going to name certain names on here because I don't want to, get in trouble or get anyone else in trouble or just trash people. But, Blaine, when you go to the Senior Bowl, people talk. And I'll tell you right now, there were some people talking about certain GMs that were yes men. Certain GM candidates that were yes men, why certain GMs weren't hired, as well as coaches. And I think that's the biggest turnoff, for anybody hiring, in the coaching, at least in the NFL department, is being a yes man, not being able to think for yourself, not being able to creatively think and come up with your own plan. And I really feel like that's one of the things that there's a lot of coaches where you're like, why isn't this person a coach? And then you find out, like, okay, that person's not a coach because they're a yes man and they don't do well in the interviews. So I can tell you right now, Thomas Brown is not that from what I've heard. And so I think he's going to go far. I don't know if Aubrey is that. I don't think he is. I will not be surprised if Aubrey Pleasant is the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. I will not be surprised by that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised either. And like you said, Thomas Brown kind of gives me like last year on the Flying Coach podcast with Peter Schrager, Sean McVay basically said like Matt LaFleur challenged him, and I think Thomas Brown does that to McVay. So I would really like to see Thomas Brown take that OC position just because he's not a yes man, and he will challenge McVay. If McVay wants to make a stupid play call or whatever, or have a stupid game plan, like Brown will be there to say, no, that's stupid. Like, don't do that. I think it only makes McVay better to have a guy like that next to him.
No, I absolutely agree with you there. And, let's talk about the other side of this. Raheem Morris not being a head coach, it selfishly helps because now, for whatever stupid reason, you don't get a compensatory pick for a minority hire, even if he's gone, unless he has at least been there for 2 years. Raheem Morris will be there for 2 years next year. He has to 100% be a head coach after the season. You have to, right? I mean, you would have to assume so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm not. I'm shocked he's not. He wasn't considered more this year. Like what he did with this defense to come in and basically learn a system that he wasn't really all that familiar with, and then they took a huge step forward in the second half of the season, and then you look at the playoff games, and he had incredible game plans for all four playoff games. Like the Cardinals game, he made Kyler Murray look like he wasn't an NFL quarterback in the divisional round. Like for the most part of that game, Tom Brady looked like he was really struggling. Like had it not been for four fumbles, like that game's a blowout. And then in the NFC Championship game, they shut out San Francisco in the fourth quarter. And then in this last game against Cincinnati, for the final 25 minutes, Cincinnati really can't get anything going. Like I said earlier, like give me a head coaching candidate that has experience coaching the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, and has former head coaching experience. Like that type of candidate just doesn't exist anywhere else.
I agree. And I think what it really comes down to is this. Raheem Morris got a raw deal with Tampa. His first year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat where going back to 1970, he is the only coach to win 10 games with an entirely new 11 on offense and entirely new 11 on defense.
Did they have Josh Freeman back when he was a coach? I can't remember who the quarterback was.
They may have. I think they might have. Yeah. No, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Raheem. I loved the hire. A lot of people know that. I mean, I wanted Aubrey Pleasant. I was bummed for him because I knew he was gone if they didn't promote him this year. And I thought he was the plan, but and look, I'm not rooting against Brandon Staley. But I think a lot of Rams fans were upset with how he left. I feel like it's in a bad way. Remember, defense looked awful. The last game he coached. And so when Raheem started getting interviews and I heard people saying, "Oh no, it's going to be that again." I said, "No. It is not going to be that again." Because I truly believed that Raheem had this defense playing at a different level than even Brandon Staley had his defense playing last year. Because what Raheem had to do, keep in mind, they stopped being a bend don't break defense. I don't know why people still say that they're a bend don't break defense. They're not. They stopped that. They tightened things up. They played more physical. And earlier in the year, that was the definition of bend don't break, and they were super soft. And now, this final product was good enough to knock off a guy that continued to win no matter what. I mean, beat the Chiefs, second seed, beat the number 1 seed Titans, beat the, very underrated Raiders. I mean, you just got to give, a lot of credit to Raheem Morris and the fact that he was able to do all of that with the fact, don't get me wrong. I understand, he had his moments during the year. It took time, but it always takes time. And so, I just think what he did with, I would argue, a lesser defense and probably a more, a defense that needed to grow more. You're talking about linebackers shifting in and out. People would say, "Oh, well, they went out and got Von Miller." And I'd say, "Oh, well, Darius Williams took a nosedive completely, for the season." I mean, he went from having, he had games last year where he ended them on interceptions. And this year, I don't think he had one. So,
no, and Darius Williams is in a position to, honestly, if he has a year like he had last year, he's probably in a position to make $15 to $20 million this year in free agency. And now it's at a spot where do the Rams even want to bring him back?
Yeah,
he took a total nosedive.
I will say, when in the biggest game, I don't think he was as much of a liability as I was concerned about. I thought David Long had a pretty solid game. I thought everybody played pretty solid across the board, except I think Skoranek had a couple huge miscues. Van Jefferson needs to get better hand placement on that deep throw down the field. People were saying he was held, but he needs to get himself in a better position because. Blaine, I don't know what it was, but down the stretch, it seemed like Van was just trying to go for that big one-handed catch down the sideline when he started off his career, that throw that Goff threw against Dallas, and it was on, NBC Sunday Night Football to kick off 2020. He caught that thing over his shoulder with two hands, and I feel like he kind of got, I don't know, he got used to this one-handed thing, and it's just not working out. So, I definitely, I'm very confident. Like, there's people that are like, oh, just, get rid of Van Jefferson, send him to play with his dad. That's ridiculous to me. Van Jefferson had over 800 yards in the second season, but he was not the best tonight, and I think that's fair to say. But at the same time, we don't want to be too negative because the Rams are world champions, and that just, I'm sorry, it feels very good to say that multiple times.
Yeah, no, it really does. Like, yeah, I mean, we can nitpick here and say, like, yeah, I mean, like Ben Skronik needs to be like, I legitimately asked on Twitter, like, what is Ben Skronik's purpose today on offense? Like, what is it? What is
He's
his
so
purpose?
good on special teams, but
like just on offense, like the ball goes off his hands and it ends up in an interception, and then on later on in the game, like Stafford throws him a ball and it's like he doesn't even make an effort to go back and get it, like. And then, like you said earlier, like Van Jefferson needs to make it like he's one-on-one with Jesse Bates. Like, win that one-on-one matchup, and you have a touchdown, dude. Like, just win that matchup. Like, fight for it a little bit. And then I think later on in the game, like you said, like I think he had a chance down the right sideline, and I think like he had a shot for it, and it didn't make the play. And but he made a lot of plays for the Rams this year, and I think that the play against Arizona on Monday Night Football was one of the best plays on offense this year. Like to do that in front of his dad, like on Monday Night Football against a team that was, I think, 8-1 at the time or 9-1 at the time. Like the Cardinals are very good at. The Cardinals were still soaring when the Rams played them on Monday Night Football at that stage, and for him to make that play that basically won that football game and broke the game open was huge. So I expect big things from Van Jefferson. I think Ben Skronik has questions to answer next offseason, but all that's a mute at this point. The Rams they hoisted the Lombardi Trophy. They're world champions. Like, well, we have 3 months to talk about the rest of this stuff.
Nope, I absolutely agree with you. I think the tight end position is kind of fun to talk about because now you have Higbee, you have Bryson Hopkins, who had probably the best experience, the best bunch of experience you could have.
For Hopkins to go from being basically inactive all season long,
I love it,
and then active for the Super Bowl, he has 40 some odd yards receiving. Like this is incredible.
I hope they continue to give him opportunities. I hope this just pushes him up on the depth chart. Like, all right, Hopkins, you came through for us. I'm not going to forget this. Like, that is what it's all about. And let's not forget, this guy was my number 1 tight end in that draft. I mean, I love this guy, okay? And I've been rooting for him, and he is just, for whatever reason, he fell behind. Wasn't the highest favor of the coaching staff. Like, I would say he fell behind Kendall Blanton. I would say he fell behind Jacob Harris at times. Like, what I mean? He was a healthy scratch at times, but, Hopkins.
I mean, he was the focal point of the biggest play of the game. I mean, on that final drive, Stafford staring him down.
Yeah.
And it might have been Bates. I forget who it was, but they come down to cover Hopkins because Stafford's staring him down, and Stafford throws it behind the linebacker and hit Kupp, and that puts him in range to score the touchdown. And it just. Yeah, I mean, Hopkins was really big this game, and his biggest play might have been the one that he didn't catch a ball in.
Well, and here's the thing. If Hopkins comes through the way because I had him as like a Dallas Goedert type guy coming out of the draft. Like, he shouldn't have gone in the 4th round, in my opinion. I had a 2nd-round grade on him, and a high 2nd-round grade at that. I didn't think, like, when he fell into the Rams' lap in the 4th round, I was like, this happened? What happened to this draft? And then, like, he wasn't really used. So now I'm really hoping, because the Rams offense could just be absolutely diabolical next year. I mean, that experience for him, the experience for Blanton in the NFC title game, because let's not forget, he helped them get here. And, the Higbee connection that he had at the end of the season with Stafford. And then you have Johnny Munt, if you want to bring him back on a cheap deal. He's a great blocker, but if you don't,
and this tight end class is honestly like a really good tight end class. Like they could honestly draft another tight end in the fourth round if they wanted to, and how about bring another guy into the mix?
Yeah, they could. But I mean, I feel pretty good about their tight ends. I'm really curious what the role is for Tutu Atwell and Jacob Harris moving forward, because I feel like they have a role. Because Blaine, don't you hear me out when I say this? Don't you feel like if Skoranek went off in this game, like this was his moment, takes over for OBJ, scores those 2 touchdowns instead of Kupp, like don't you think we're talking about Ben Skoranek now as like, what do you do with Tutu Atwell and Jacob Harris? But because he didn't have that big moment and really no one stepped up except for Bryson Hopkins and, of course, Kupp, like, I'm looking at that in terms of Tutu Atwell, the door's still open for as a second-round pick. And, there's definitely a door still open for Jacob Harris, who they just love his skill set and they love his size and they look at him as a ball of clay that they can mold into their own. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I honestly think that like Jacob Harris was drafted as a tight end, but I think their plan is to use him more as a receiver. So like the way that I see this is that I mean Jacob Harris was like obviously the talk of the preseason. He was the talk of training camp. Like it honestly wouldn't surprise me if Jacob Harris surpasses Skowronek on the depth chart as a wide receiver at wide receiver and becomes a wide receiver and knocks Skowronek out. And we're talking about Jacob Harris as just a big wide receiver rather than a tight end. And Tutu Atwell's obviously there. I honestly I'm curious how they use Tutu Atwell because of what we saw from oh gosh, why can't I remember his name right now? At the worst time is I guess it's 12:45 on the East Coast, so I guess I have an excuse. But
You definitely do.
Brandon Powell. So like I'm curious what they do with Brandon Powell, Tutu Atwell. Like I think that the intent was to use Tutu Atwell as a returner, but with how Brandon Powell did this year, like how are you? How like you can't cut Brandon Powell? I don't think. Like I think you have to keep him as a returner, but it's definitely going to be an interesting discussion this offseason.
Dude, so I opened up the ESPN app and there's this really cool overlay that shows the Rams. If I can get this to focus in on it, be really cool. Come on, camera. Nope, it's not gonna work. Bummer. But yeah, it shows the Rams like Super Bowl champions. Like I've never seen that type. It looks like a screensaver, or whatever. So
Nice.
I'm gonna send it to you. You might want it.
I might have to check this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna here. I'll send it to you right now because it looks pretty
Oh,
dope.
I see it. Yeah, no, this is cool. This is
Like
cool.
how awesome is I've never seen that before.
I just screenshotted that. You know, that's really cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
that's sick, man. But yeah, dude. Just incredible. Just really incredible. And shout out to Joe Burrow. 22 of 33, 263 yards, a touchdown.
I mean, he didn't have a bad game by any means. Like
he was sacked tied for the most times all time in a Super Bowl with 7.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't
That's
have,
incredible.
He didn't have a bad game. Like he put the Bengals in, like they pick up that first down there, and they're in a position they're in McPherson's range to kick the game tying field goal. Honestly, like he put them in a position to tie that game, have them in a good position going into the fourth quarter, and honestly, like I just give credit to the Rams defense because in the big moment there, Aaron Donald stepped up. Like he wanted the Super Bowl more than anything. You could tell that after last year and going into the postseason this year and in the NFC Championship game, like he wanted the Super Bowl and he stepped up there on that fourth down and there was really nothing Burrow could do.
Yeah, I absolutely. It's just man.
Like over the last 2 weeks, like I've told you, like the Burrow hype has honestly been way too much. Like comparing him to Tom Brady and all this, like it's been a lot, but that doesn't take away from like how good of a player Joe Burrow is. Like he's really good. The Bengals are in a really good spot. They have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase on rookie contracts. T. Higgins is on a rookie contract. Like they're in a really good spot, and they're only going to get better. And with Joe Burrow at the helm, like they're only going to be able to continue to do special things. Especially Patrick Mahomes is off his rookie contract now. He'll be making $40-50 million a year now. He's going to make things really difficult for the Chiefs. And I just expect Cincinnati to be a real threat going forward.
No, I agree. I mean, we'll see because of course they do have to, of course, have that number one schedule, first place schedule, and the Ravens will be healthy again, and we'll see what happens with the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers they just need a quarterback, and they have a lot of. I mean, obviously they need to figure out that offensive line. Let's not lie there, but and then the Browns. I mean, they'll probably still for whatever reason stick with Baker Mayfield.
Can you
But
imagine, Jake? Can you imagine taking Baker Mayfield over Odell Beckham Jr., who scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl?
oh my God, man. I
Like,
just I have
like
so many thoughts
The
on that.
Browns ruined Odell Beckham Jr. so bad that they couldn't trade him. They had to outright cut Odell Beckham Jr. and he scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Dude, I know. And I just think it's funny because well, it's like the big three at DTR, you, me, and Alexis. Um, we've all been OBJ fans now.
Yeah,
We wanted this, and I think it was you and I that were discussing it. And I'm like, the Rams are gonna make this happen. And they were not yet talked about. And then I did start asking around, and I got a source that told me the Rams were in it. And I was like, okay, this is good. They're going to get him. And, I saw all the, what was it, the Packer stuff. And I was like, he's not going to Green Bay. He's not. Because, here's the thing, and I kept saying it. Green Bay was not as good as the Rams this year. The Green Bay beat the Rams, but they had the ball for 2/3 of the game and won by 8. Like I
yeah.
mean, I'm just saying that. Like if Green Bay had played the Rams,
Green Bay won a lot of games by one score. Like that Browns game, they barely beat the
the
Browns
Bengals
on
game,
Thanksgiving. The Bengals game,
holy hell,
yeah.
yeah, the Bengals game. Well, that's when you and I were kind of like, okay, this Bengals team is not, this is not a cellar dweller anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was around that time that I was starting to really buy into Cincinnati. Like, okay, this team might be for real. Like I still didn't think they'd be in the Super Bowl at that point, but I definitely was starting to take them more seriously than the 4-win team they were last year.
Yeah. Oh man, I just want to be like, hey Blaine, we have breaking news on the show. It's like, well, I don't know what I would say, but I just want to. Actually, I'm going to say something because I saw it and I forgot to say it. By the way, congrats to Van Jefferson on his newborn child. It's weird because I thought OBJ was gonna have a kid as well, but
Is he still waiting?
I guess he's still waiting. It sounded like that.
Wow.
I heard more about OBJ's than Van, so I was like,
Yeah.
what are the odds they both had? They were both gonna have kids on the same day potentially. That's crazy on the Super Bowl, no less. Um, People are absolutely just digging in on Eli Apple, and I don't feel bad because I mean, like he roasted New Orleans. Like I just don't feel like that's the way you leave. And on top of it, he was talking so much crap about Cooper Kupp, and I mean Cooper Kupp baptized him. There is a burnt toast meme with. Did you see it? I posted it.
No,
Uh,
I haven't. I need to see it though. Oh my
oh
gosh.
man, it was funny, but I mean, he just he should have shut up and just played ball because I'm not saying that's why the Rams won. I'm not saying that's why Cooper Kupp did his thing, but I don't think it helped his cause. So I'm looking for it right now. I just saw ESPN posted something. Eric Weddle reacts to becoming a Super Bowl champion, says he is retiring following the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I think he said he needs surgery after his because I think he
Yeah.
hurt his pec. Like, yeah, he's done. He's gonna get surgery and then just never come back again.
Oh my God.
I think he'll be a really good coach. Like if he wants to come back and coach, I guess I could see him being a really good coach.
He could be a player coach, like I
Yeah,
said. They could just keep him on the practice squad, and he's retiring though. He's so done. He's like, I don't even know why I came back, but hey, we won a Super Bowl, so I'll take it. Like
yeah.
he literally had the green dot in his last game, was injured the whole game, literally had to have a shoulder harness put on to keep everything in order. He still was making, those hard hits with his shoulder.
I know, and
It's like, man, I love this guy. Like, literally just, like, put him in the freaking Ring of Honor. Like, are you kidding me right now? God,
I think he cemented his place in Canton. Like I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer now. Like
fantastic player, man.
he was just really missing the Super Bowl ring, and now he went to the superior franchise in Los Angeles and got it. And yeah, just so happy for him, and just happy for so many guys. Andrew Whitworth, Aaron Donald finally got his to kind of put his place among Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White as three of the best defensive players ever. Like just so happy for Matthew Stafford for spending 12 years in Detroit and coming to Los Angeles and winning a Super Bowl, leading the game-winning drive. Just so happy for so many of these guys.
And now all the Matthew Stafford hate can just get the shit out of here. Like that
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to hear another thing. You're wrong. Stat Padford doesn't exist anymore. That is a meme. It's fake. It's falsified. It's proven it's fake. You were wrong. Like I'm literally gonna sit here and I'm gonna be like Orlovsky. It was like he played in what was it? He's like he hasn't won any playoff games. He played in Detroit, like him with that the Top Gun jacket.
Matthew Stafford had more wins in just this year in the playoffs as he did playoff losses in Detroit. Like he officially has a winning record in the playoffs.
Yep, 4-3. Just like I mean, you couldn't have written it any better. On top of it, here's another thing, and you know me, I love this guy, but hey, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford has as many Super Bowl wins as you do.
Yeah.
That is something, and let's also look at it because you can look at like so many different things.
I'm just hoping that like Matthew Stafford has such a good year where like I'm hoping people don't like single this out as being like a playoff run like Joe Flacco had or like
no, I don't think so.
I really hope it people don't look at it like that because Stafford has such a good year overall where I mean Flacco was always kind of an average quarterback that just like hit lightning in that playoff run in 2012 and he was just like you couldn't touch him and I think Stafford was just like that all year and I think he showed that and I really think this is going to continue to build going into next year.
Remember the Super Bowl when he threw that pass to Jacoby Jones? It was so badly underthrown.
Yeah.
But like Jacoby Jones got up and juked like two guys and got in. That was sick. Like, what do you feel like is the biggest Super Bowl moment aside from like that Cooper Kupp touchdown? Because to me, it is 100% the Odell catch. Like that, I feel like we're going to be playing those two touchdowns over and over and over again. We're going to be playing the Aaron Donald, should have been sack. We're going to be playing a lot. So it's just, it may not be Mike Jones made the tackle. It may not have come down to the actual last play.
Like to me, it's the no look pass to Kupp on that final drive. Like that's the best throw of the game. It's just like who on a game winning drive pulls out a no look pass. Like it takes stones to do that, and for him to do that on the game winning drive, like it's incredible.
Oh man, can you imagine if they pulled off that Philly special?
I'm glad they didn't because Jesse Bates is right there and probably lays out Matthew Stafford and kills him. Like,
well, I guess the everything happens for a reason really does matter here. Yeah, no, I absolutely hear you there. Now, it's one of those things though. You know that meme where it's Leo DiCaprio and he's in The Wolf of Wall Street and he's looking on TV and he's like, hey, he's like pointing. You know that meme?
Yeah.
I feel like that was Aaron Rodgers with Stafford, and here's why. Because Aaron Rodgers, this guy deserves a lot of respect here because Aaron Rodgers has been pumping up Matthew Stafford long before the trade, and during the trade, he got a lot of these interviews, right? And Rodgers kept saying, you guys, don't realize number 9 in Detroit has been doing this thing long before Patrick Mahomes. You just started to notice when Mahomes did it. And I was like, yes, Aaron, you know what you're talking about. And so how fitting is it for him to have that no-look touchdown? How fitting is it for him to have that 70-plus yard drive in the fourth quarter, not throw an interception in the fourth quarter, which he hasn't done all season? I believe that's 12 or 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the fourth quarter. I mean, this guy, if he was
look at his 2 interceptions today. The one was basically an arm punt that his receiver didn't make an effort to go break up whatsoever.
Yep.
And the second one went off of his receiver's hands. Like those two interceptions arguably shouldn't have happened.
I mean, it just like I probably shouldn't go this far, but I'm going to. You know, I think it's a good. I actually said this on a Radio Row show, so I'm going to say it. Tom Brady, 6th-round pick, 199th overall, right? Goes through the adversity of being a 6th-round pick, works his tail off, gets the starting job, wins the Super Bowl in his second year. I would say that adversity is matched, like paying his dues from not being the anointed first-round pick, not working his way up. It's an incredible story of perseverance and just overcoming, against all odds. Just like Kurt Warner. I would say Stafford has matched that because he spent 12 years in Detroit, despite the fact he was the number 1 overall pick. He didn't have the best chance there, and he continued to battle through and survive. And I say survive because Sam Bradford has been to 4 different teams since he was drafted in the draft after Stafford, number 1 overall, and he's not in the league anymore. So he survived to go to the Rams, and now he's paid his dues. And now we can finally say he's a Super Bowl champion. And furthermore, with Tom Brady out of the league, he's the most clutch quarterback in the NFL. I don't think it's close. I really firmly believe that, Blaine, because, people would say because he won early on, Mahomes in that game, Cincinnati, he got way too careless with the ball, and you just don't see Stafford doing that in the fourth quarter. And that's why they won the Super Bowl, because Stafford, when he needed to be at his best, he needed to not turn the ball over, he needed to make these throws, he made them. And so I'm going to say it. Stafford's not only the best quarterback in the NFC if Rodgers leaves, but I think he is the most clutch quarterback in the NFL now with Brady out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the no-look pass to Hopkins all game long. Stafford's he's fine. He was fine taking the underneath route, and that's why the Bengals were so respectful of Stafford staring down Bryson Hopkins, because they knew he wasn't afraid to go underneath because he'd been doing it all game long, going to the running backs. He had hit Hopkins a couple times, so that they knew he wasn't afraid to go underneath. And then Stafford stares down Hopkins, baits the safety, and hits Kupp on the other side. And it's and then over the last 3 weeks, Stafford finished his postseason with 3 consecutive game-winning drives. It's just like you said, it's so clutch. And I really do think, like you said, I think without his time in Detroit, I don't. He'll tell you. Kelly Stafford will tell you, Detroit made him the quarterback that he is today.
Yeah,
and he's only 33 years old. He arguably has 5, 6, 7 years left. And one thing I do want to ask you is, no team has repeated as Super Bowl champions since the 2003-2004 Patriots. What do you think makes this Rams team different, where you think that maybe they can possibly repeat?
Because I think Sean McVay is the next Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
I think that this is the next Patriots, and I think it's only fitting that this team had to be killed by the Patriots. And the best way I can explain this is, remember in The Dark Knight Rises when, Bruce Wayne is dealing with that adversity and he's trying to climb out of that pit after Bane just destroyed him? That was the Patriots. I mean, they took the will out of the Rams. The Rams did not make the playoffs after that. They questioned everything. And so, at the end of that movie, of course, Bruce Wayne gets out of that hole and he saves the day, so to speak. And I feel like that's the Rams, is that they went up against the Bane. Bane beat them the first time, the Patriots. And now this time, they beat the quarterback to get to this. They beat the quarterback that beat them in that said Super Bowl. And now I think they have a chance to take over as the next great dynasty. I really firmly believe that. And I just, over and over again, I can't stress it enough. And guys, I'm not saying that the Patriots destroyed them. Killed is the term I'm using because it's either you're immortalized or you die. That's the way the Super Bowl works. It's very rare the loser is able to get back to where they need to be. So I'm not saying that the Patriots dominated that game and killed them. I'm saying it killed them because the next year they didn't make the playoffs. That's what I mean. But that's my point, Blaine, is that, this is why I really feel like they're on this path, because as long as Sean McVay continues to coach, even if Aaron Donald does retire soon, because I know that is out there, and apparently it is more factual than you and I kind of thought, but I don't think he's retiring after this season. And if he does retire, keep in mind that opens up about $20+ million in cap. So the Rams aren't just going to be like, oh, we lost Aaron Donald, who's the best player in football. Yeah, we're not going to replace him. We're not going to try and go and find a guy that will add to that. No, they're going to go out and they're going to make a move, because this is what they do. And so Stafford is not going to play another 10 years, despite the fact he toyed with that in the offseason. He's just not going to. But Stafford could play another 5, maybe even 6 years. And if he does, that gives Sean McVay that time. And on top of it, who's to say this team doesn't do what the Packers did, and the Packers going out and getting Aaron Rodgers when they have Brett Favre? I'm very much of the 2020 is either traded actually Aaron Donald's replacement, maybe going out and getting a Derwin James, or the 2024 first-round pick will be the next quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams after Stafford hangs it up.
Yeah, I mean, and even like this year, I mean, like honestly, like with how weak this quarterback class, like they could honestly, like if Desmond Riddler falls down into the third round, like they could honestly take him and start developing him for the next couple of years. And
I'd like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it too. But no, I overall like kind of agree with you. Like, well, like we were saying earlier, like if Aaron Rodgers does leave Green Bay and go to the AFC or something, or like Stafford with Tom Brady out of the picture, like he's arguably the best quarterback in the NFC. Without Aaron Rodgers, I think he is the best quarterback in the NFC, and that alone will make the Rams a threat going into next year and make them probably the favorites of the NFC. And if they're in the Super Bowl next year, like you're obviously giving yourself a chance there with the best quarterback, and you bring guys back like OBJ, Robert Woods comes back. Like I do think they have a realistic shot to at least put themselves in a good position to 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 win the Super Bowl again. And like again, like I think that the goal was obviously this year to win the Super Bowl, but if they hadn't, like I think they were looking at this as like a 3-year window type deal, and the Rams are in year one of that alleged 3-year window.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that we've talked about it before. I think the media wants to drive this narrative that the Rams aren't going to terrorize the NFL, so they're trying to make it easy and be like, oh, well, Sean McVay is going to retire soon, so don't worry. And now we're getting Aaron Donald. He's going to retire soon, so don't worry. And it's like, I really don't think Sean McVay is going to retire in the next 10 years, let alone 20. I mean, I really think he's going to coach for another 20 years. I think there's a very good chance that he doesn't coach until he's 60. But also, let's keep this in mind, his plans can change. And they could change for the good or the bad. But here's the thing. He's not married yet. He's going to be married. He doesn't have kids yet. He wants to have kids. You can tell a report is false when they're missing key points to the report. And that's the thing. So,
and I mean, he was basically the driving point to trade for Matthew Stafford, and he said several times this year that he loves working with Matthew Stafford. So, like, as long as Matthew Stafford is in the building, like, I don't see Sean McVay going anywhere. And honestly, the same with Donald. Like, as long as Matthew Stafford is in the building, the Rams have a chance to win the Super Bowl. And like, what's better than one Super Bowl, Aaron Donald? Like, go get two. Like. Just improve your legacy that much more, and like actually become like another Super Bowl. Honestly, probably makes Aaron Donald the greatest defensive player ever if he's not already there. But the second one probably cements it. So, like, go get that second one.
Also, I would be very irresponsible if I didn't point out how much I freaking love A'Shawn Robinson, man. Sebastian Joseph Day, I don't really think played much, if at all. I didn't see him. A'Shawn was filthy, Blaine. Holy hell.
He was so good in the run game, and like Chris Collinsworth even pointed out, like when A'Shawn Robinson is on the field, just like don't run the ball. If he's not on the field, like check to a run play, because that's the only time you're going to be able to run it. Like A'Shawn Robinson played a fantastic game tonight and really shut down Joe Mixon. Like I would need to check. Let's see here. how many rushing yards they ended up with. I don't think it was a lot. Yeah, Joe Mixon, 15 carries for 72 yards. I guess he did average 4.8 yards per carry. So that's a little bit better than what I thought he had. But for the most part, and I think in the first quarter, when they fell short of that 4th and 1, they had 2nd and 1. I think they had two stops on um, 2nd and short to set up that 4th down, and then Ernest Jones gets a stop, and you kind of have the same thing there in the fourth quarter on the final 4th down stop.
Dude, I just can't believe. Actually, I called it. I don't know if I texted you that I called it, but I was sitting there with my friend Tyler, and we're watching, and it's like it's 3rd down, and I'm like, they're gonna go for it on 4th, and we're gonna stop them. I truly believe that. That was
Yeah,
when they went for it the 4th down, and I think it was Ernest Jones that batted it down.
yeah.
Um, I knew they were gonna go for it because I don't think Zach Taylor is arrogant. Like, you know where I'm going with this. Cliff Kingsbury, like we talked about, how he just goes for it every single 4th down. It's like, oh, you're at your 20, might actually take you out of the game if you miss this. Yeah, we're gonna go for it because I just love going for it on 4th and short. Um, I love when teams go for it against this defense because I feel like this defense is better on 4th down than they are on 3rd down. So when they get to 4th down, I'm like, oh hell yeah, just pin your ears back and just freaking go at them. And it was surprising for them to go empty set there. And that was such a pivotal moment. But let's just talk about coming out of the half. You've seen this. We've watched Super Bowls where, I mean, let's not forget the power outage Super Bowl, with the Ravens and 49ers, how the Ravens were dominating and then the Niners came back after the power outage, right? Um, so,
And even the Saints in 2009, like they're trailing going into the half, and then they come out, they do the famous onside kick, recover, and then it's just a different ball game after that.
yeah.
Like the Rams went from being up 13-10 to being down 20 to
In
13.
like 40
And
seconds.
yeah, it was insane. Like the Rams could have easily given up at that point. Well, not really given up, but they could have really lost their mojo at that point. And they could have allowed the Bengals to really take over that game, and they didn't. The Bengals didn't score any more points after that, and it took a while for the offense to finally kind of get going again. But the defense kept the offense in the game and gave the offense a chance at the end there to go on that final game winning drive.
Someone said Todd Gurley was at the game wearing Rams colors. I got to get a picture of that.
I kind of hope he get I doubt it happens, but I would love for the team to give him a honorary ring or something. Just his career. It sucks that he had his knee injury and it just kind of derailed his career. But it would be awesome, I think, if the team gave him an honorary ring or something.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, Blaine. If Todd Gurley, if I could have anybody from Sean McVay's tenure in their prime in this game, if I'm Todd Gurley, in an absolute blowout,
Yeah.
it would not have been close. I really feel like Todd Gurley is just on another level. And I hate that he didn't win a ring, but I mean, think about it. Steven Jackson didn't win a ring. Eric Dickerson didn't win a ring. The only running backs that have won a ring, as far as Super Bowl, Marshall Faulk, everyone that was on that team. I mean, Hodgins won a ring, but he was a fullback. Robert Holcomb, that's who it would be, right? Well, he was a fullback too.
Yeah.
So, Trunk candidate was the pick later. So he didn't win a ring, and then
Trunk candidate was only on that team in 2001 when they lost to the Patriots, and still just I can't believe that you have Marshall Faulk on your team and you're taking Trunk candidate in the fucking first round. Come on.
Oh yeah, that was a bad pick. No offense to Trung. Hope he is doing well. Not trying to trash him, but that made no sense when they got him. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I really, I'm happy for guys like Woods, OBJ, guys that got hurt along the way and were able to, get this ring. You can't take anything away from OBJ. He caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So if anyone's trying to say he didn't earn it, he absolutely did. And I would go as far as to say OBJ being out is the only thing that really made this game as close as it was. Because, Blaine, I think we were looking at potentially a comfortable 10-plus point win by the Rams.
Like we saw Cooper Kupp win MVP, but like honestly, I think we were in position there. Like Odell Beckham Jr. had put himself in a spot to win MVP. Honestly,
Yeah.
just like the Bengals really shut down Cooper Kupp, and Odell Beckham Jr. was getting open, and Stafford was finding him, and I think I mean without Odell Beckham getting hurt, like he was on his way to a really good game.
I absolutely agree with you, and it's just really upsetting. Like, I know he got super emotional and everything and started crying. You just hate to see that, but man, so like I don't know. You could have taken a snapshot of last year, and it would have been AD crying on the sideline. Because to me, that's what 2020 was. It was, we have the best defense. He is not in there, even without Cooper Kupp. Him being at 100%, that is a completely different game against Green Bay. It's not 32-18. And in that, he was, what we found out, he meant more to the defense than anybody realized. Even as much as great as we know he was, we did not realize until AD was 30% healthy how important he was to the defense, until we saw that defense without him last year in that playoffs. And to lose the way they did, him crying on the sidelines, they come back and he's the one doing this with the ring finger. I just love it for him. I really do.
Yeah.
We could talk about the fact, he sat out that game during the contract negotiations and, paid the man and all that, but he stuck with this team. Like, I get that they paid him, but he could have left. He could have said, you know what, nope, I'm not going to negotiate, and we see that. He stuck with this team, and through better or for worse, he's a champion now, and he's been in the Super Bowl twice, so he's 1-1. He knows what it's like, and I think that's another thing that was kind of, forgotten, and we haven't had a chance to really talk about this, live on a show, but I'm going to say this right now. When the Rams played the Patriots, all that we heard during that time, during the Super Bowl week, and I know because I was at the Senior Bowl and I saw it on NFL Network and they were talking about it, all anybody wanted to talk about was the experience factor, but no one wanted to mention the experience factor the Rams had because they lost against the Bengals. I think that did play a role in this.
Yeah, I do as well, and you saw that today. I mean, the Bengals they arrived to the stadium and their players were warming up immediately, and the Rams, I think, came out a lot later than the Bengals did to do their warm ups, and so I think that experience did play a factor, and I just think the thing that bothers me the most is that just like analysts all week were saying that Joe Burrow's been like they're taking the Bengals because Joe Burrow's been in these pressure situations all year, and he was been in these pressure situations during the playoffs, and he's come out with these huge wins, and there was no better quarterback this season in the fourth quarter than Matthew Stafford. There was no quarterback, I think, that faced more pressure this season than Matthew Stafford. I mean, the Rams traded 2 first-round picks in Jared Goff for Stafford, and at that point, the expectation was Super Bowl, and all eyes were on Stafford all season long. Like, how does Stafford play this week? Is he really as good as we thought he was? And we found out like he was, and he showed up in the big games when people said Stafford can't show up in the big games. And I think that's the narrative that bothers me the most. But I do agree with you 100% and just everything that you were just saying.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, it really, all those narratives were freaking annoying, man. It's like Stafford knocked off Brady. He beat Kyler Murray. He beat Jimmy Garoppolo. He, broke the curse, broke the loop, and still it was all, I'm not betting against Joe Burrow. I'm like, well, I like Joe Burrow. We both like Joe Burrow. But, like, his second year, and now he's already getting the benefit of the doubt like that, like he's Tom Brady, because that was what they were saying about Tom Brady, is that, the Rams have the better offense, the defense, and the special teams, but I don't bet against Tom Brady. And, like, Nolan joked about what, last time he came on, he was like, man, what are you betting? Like, you're betting like $40. Shut the hell up. When people say that, and I was like, Nolan's right. Like, how much are you betting on this game?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I thought that was funny.
But I don't think that experience factor played a role. I mean, I think McVay learned a lot from his first from that Patriots Super Bowl, and honestly, going into the fourth quarter down 20-16, like I don't think McVay in 2018 puts together a game plan that wins 23-20 this year. Like I like if this game was played in 2018, like I think the Rams lose. And having that experience from 2018, I think really really helped them out.
And I think another thing that helped him out big time, and this doesn't get talked about enough, but just think about this, okay? Um, the Rams, so they had the experience and losing, but I think another thing that helped him out is Stafford and Burrow both were going into this for the first time. Here's the deal, though, okay? Because people are saying the offensive line was terrible on both sides. To be honest with you, I don't think that there was a shock. It wasn't shocking to me when all of a sudden the Rams were getting in the second half on Burrow. To me, the offensive lines were, and this is what happens. You play 17-game season. This is the most games ever played, I believe, for both these teams because they played in Wild Card Weekend, right? So
Yeah.
this is the longest season ever, officially. Um, and it's the most amount of games played by a team. They're tied. So yeah, there was a lot of games played, and I think that the offensive line, both of them, got worn down as the game went on. And so I think what it really came down to is that when you look at the Rams, you have the offensive line that has Whitworth on it and Havenstein, and these are guys that have experience in the big game. But on top of it, these are guys that have held their own all season. And, I feel like Whitworth, he kind of felt like he was playing his last game. So he was laying it all out there. You know what I mean? I think the interior pressure is what got to Stafford. I felt like the outside stuff, I thought they did a nice job with. There were times where they got beat, but for the most part, it was really the interior pressure that got to Stafford. And everything got to Burrow. They were getting on the outside. They were getting on the inside. And that was just a matter of the fact that the guys were getting absolutely worn down. And you can't double team Donald all game because eventually his motor does not stop. And you cannot continue to do that because you're putting other guys in. And so what they noticed is, oh, well, Vaughn's getting 2 sacks, and now Floyd gets in there, and now, oh my God, here comes Ernest Jones. We got to figure this out. And there were times where, they would get, Donald on a stunt, or they would just have Donald literally just pushing the center right back into Burrow's lap. And that's what happens in the course of a game like that when you play such a long game in a game that, everything is on the line. Those guys step up, and man, it was so much fun to watch. I'm really excited for the future with the Rams because clearly they have the right coaching staff in place. You got to give a lot of credit to Chris Shula, Eric Henderson, those guys. They've gotten these guys ready. I mean, we already know that guys like Marquise Copeland can be counted on. Sebastian Joseph Day didn't really play in this one that I could really remember. I mean, obviously, if anybody knows how many snaps he played, let me know. But if they decide to bring back Bash, they're going to have so much depth. And Marquise Copeland already showed you, like, he played well against Arizona when needed. I just think it's a good sign because when you have, these rookies that didn't get in, for instance, Chris Garrett, I think I have really good feeling about Garrett moving forward. I think he showed out in preseason. And I trust the coaching staff to develop him just like they continue to do with other guys. I thought Justin Hollins did a nice job of staying vertical, making those plays. And, here's the thing. If you can't bring a guy down, stay vertical, allow your gang to tackle him. And that's what I liked what, he was able to do. They did just a great job at, setting the edge. And obviously Mixon had his explosive runs, but when you look at it, they held him to a little bit over 70 yards. And I think 2 of those were like chunk runs, which are normally the case with the Rams. For the most part, I thought they played well.
Yeah, and honestly, like when you talk about the offensive lines, like like the Rams were getting beat on the interior, and that was obviously the issue in the run game. But for the most part, like Cincinnati's offensive line, like they were really surprising me in the first half. Like the Rams' pass rush just wasn't getting to Burrow at all. It was really in the second half where Rams. I'm curious to watch the all 22 and watch the game again because I definitely will. I was now that I know the result, I won't be as absolutely just off the wall crazy like it was this game, like I was watching it live. Like I'll be able to actually watch and see what they were doing this next time. But like the Rams made an adjustment there in the second half, where they were getting just so much more pressure on Burrow, and that clearly affected things because like I said, for the final 26 minutes of the game, the Bengals weren't able to score at all. And a lot of it had to do with, I think the Rams had 6 sacks in the second half. And yeah, I mean, the Rams offensive line, that they weren't perfect by any means on the interior, but the tackles, Whitworth and Havenstein were solid, and that's really all the Rams needed.
No, I agree, man. Hey, I think we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wait until it hits 3 hours because that's cool.
Okay, sounds good.
But man, this has been awesome. I've really enjoyed this.
It's been great. I can't believe it's almost 1:30 in the morning. I'm still awake and still just like on cloud nine. The Rams won the Super Bowl. Like I just like still can't believe it. They came back and pulled that off, considering where they were. And I just still kind of speechless.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I Dabney, appreciate you saying that. When you listen to Jake enough during a season, you know what you know. That's some really good endorsement there. Yeah, man, we're almost at 11,000 views now.
Nice.
Now I understand that may not be as much as our Stafford one. We may not have had as many people live, but the Super Bowl is a little weird because you think you'd get a ton of traffic, and which we did. But there's also people that like to go a little crazy on Super Bowl win. So there's a lot of people that are probably asleep. They got so drunk that it knocked them out.
Yeah, like, I'll bet you get more views tomorrow as people kind of wake up and kind of want to see like the news cycle and everything and what people put out there. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that wake up hungover tomorrow, and to recover, they'll watch Jake Ellenbogen's channel on YouTube.
Well, I appreciate the ringing endorsement there. And hopefully they check out not only this, but they check out my little fun video I made that I was telling you about.
Yeah,
it is up, by the way, so you should check it out after this.
I will definitely check it out.
You'll love the thumbs, Jerry.
Nice.
It's the one where he has the dentures in and he's smiling,
Okay.
but it's a Ram logo over like his chest.
Okay.
And then right hovering over the chessboard is the logo of Super Bowl 56, which, by the way, we can officially say, without a doubt, is the greatest freaking logo in Super Bowl history. That pops on TV, man. That was insane.
I will say like the 90s logos were probably the best, but like I did like this one because like I did like the gradient. I like the palm trees that were like kind of inside the logo. Like it wasn't a bad logo, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, dude. I loved the color scheme. The Rams better keep that at SoFi Stadium, that statue of Super Bowl 56 by the water, because it's a souvenir. They won. Like,
yeah, exactly.
There's no reason to take that down. So
no.
if you're listening, SoFi crew, don't take that down. Just don't. It looks amazing. But hey guys, this has been awesome. We've been streaming for 3 hours. I would go longer if my body could take it, but right now I'm entirely running on the caffeine I had about 2 hours ago from the sparkling ice caffeine drink. Shout out to Nolan for reminding me I had it in the fridge. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. But yeah, Super Bowl 56 logo is goated. Appreciate all of you. Be sure to check out the funny video that I posted. It's basically taking all of the mainstream media takes and, just kind of making fun of them, I guess, and putting some of the videos that I had, some of the predictions I had. Obviously, some of them were wrong, but I thought, it was pretty cool to do it. And it was ballsy, man. I spent a lot of time on it, Blaine, for something that wasn't a guarantee necessarily to pre-record a video and put those all together. It took me about 3 hours for something that basically, hadn't hadn't been guaranteed to me that it was going to work out in my favor. So I had that thing sitting in private, and I was ready to drop it as soon as they won. And we previewed it or whatever. It's already over 1,000 views, so definitely check that out. But we're gonna head out of here. Blaine, it's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege. Christopher, thank you so much for the donation, guys. We will be back tomorrow to do something in some capacity because I love putting out content, and this is my job after all. So Downtown Rams podcast coming tomorrow. Check out all of Blaine's content as well. He's going to have plenty. We just hit 11,000 views, so appreciate you guys. He's going to have plenty of content over on downtownrams.com, so definitely be sure to check that out. Guys, it's been an incredible time. This is our last post-game show of the season. I cannot wait until we can do this again. It feels like it's going to be a while, but right now I could use a little bit of a break from the NFL. This is a perfect thing to win and cap it off with a Super Bowl and then to go into the draft. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. We're going to have prospect interviews, things like that. So keep it here on this channel and keep it over with downtownrams.com. Blaine, thank you so much. Folks, thank you so much. And we're out of here. So you guys take care. And the Rams did it. They're Super Bowl champions. Later, guys.